commences here at Football Park. Windy conditions are evident. North Adelaide versus Central District, round 23. Rounder with the knock. But it's North Adelaide who are straight out of the centre towards Atkinson at half forward, but good interception on that occasion by Tony Lynn, the acting vice-captain for the Dogs, who last week upset league leaders, the Magpies, by a point at Elizabeth. And North defeated West Adelaide, knocked them out of the 5, in fact. Up over half forward go the Dogs, near the 50-metre line, and we'll have a ball in with the Dogs going with the wind to the right of screen, and the actions at Football Park.
A pretty strong breeze at that, Neville. Have to be worth about 4 or 5, I would suggest, at this stage of the game. We'll keep an eye on that, whether it picks up throughout the course of play or not. Congested play, right forward pocket, southern end. Umpires officiating today are David Elliott and Mark Westgarth. And it's second place against 8th, but as Neville mentioned earlier, it doesn't mean a lot. Last week it was 8th against Furs, and the Dogs managed to win. Barrett's had a fine season. In fact, make that the last 2 or 3 seasons with the Roosters. And you look at that ball just holding up into the breeze, but he found Klomp nicely. Klomp looks further afield, keeps the ball low, punches it. The kick not accurate, and the mark's been easily taken by Laird. Tried to play on the ball, will have to go back. It's Roy Laird. He's played 50 games for the Bulldogs. And not a bad looking kick. Ingerson meets the ball solidly. Tackle, gets the handball away, gets it to Chaplin. The ball was smothered. Recovers quickly, gets a short chip pass away, and he finds Gurdon, the captain who won the toss for the Dogs. His handball goes over the top. The Dogs go forward. That looks like Sutton. In fact, it's James Saywell, son of Sally. And here's the first goal of the game. It's Stevens, and it's through the middle.
Dogs could be well pleased with that start. They have the use of a breeze, estimated at probably 4 goals. Good kick in. Ingerson was the player that won the ball through half forward, got it over to Chaplin, and interference. Play on was the call. Good umpiring on that occasion. Stevens into the open goal, so he opens the scoring for the Dogs. They lead by 6 points, the only score for the day.
So it took them just under 2 minutes to get that first score on the board, and I tell you what, if they were to get off to a good start here today, they could make life pretty uncomfortable for the Roosters, who are still battling away for the double chance with only 2 games remaining. In there, working solidly, was Saunders. Ingerson gets the handball away. Gurdon let it go. It was taken by Hanley. Loose ball going through solidly. There was Ingerson again. Opportunity for Saunders. Hamilton was skittled out of it. It's picked up by Saywell again. He hooks around his body, but it's taken nicely by Riley, who chips out a pass wide to Bradley Ryan. Ryan, very business-like in his approach, puts the ball up high, underneath it there, and standing his ground was Nick Holland. And stand his ground he did. Thundering Herd came straight into his back, but he appears to be okay, and he has the football. 3 minutes into the first term, Central 1 goal. Have a look at that ball holding up into the breeze. Players set themselves, and it's fisted away nicely by Huey Reimers. We'll have a throw in on that outer side. As we see the North Adelaide coach there, Mickey Noonan, flanked on his left by Jeff Paul, and the gentleman with the sunglasses there is Peter Whitwell. He's been a tireless worker for the club for many years. In fact, he was my team manager in the under-17s going back in around 1975, so he's had an eternity with the club. The ball is put up high. I think that was Hamilton. Setting himself there was Burton, but Laird, have a look at that hairdo. He should have been swimming in the Olympics. Looks more like Phil Rogers than Roy Laird. Puts the ball out wide. Good body wear between 2 players there. One is Saunders. He was held, and the umpire saw the free kick, and he gets it and places the ball over to Klomp with a handball. Klomp drives in long. Tongaree, the spoiler, playing in defence for the last 2 weeks. He goes down to Sims. He's getting better week in. Back to Burton. Here's the pass. It's a beauty, and he's found Klomp.
So Klomp with his 3rd kick, already menacing around the packs. Opportunist, always sees the space, usually in it for attack.
Not a long kick, and he's into the breeze, but he's only kicking from about 40 metres out, with the accuracy not there. So North Adelaide onto the board. They have 1 point, Central 1 goal, and we're approaching the 5-minute mark of this first term. And I would say it's crucial that the Dogs kick at least between, well, I'd say 5 to 10 goals in this first quarter. Anything under that would be deemed a poor effort.
Opportunity, Hamilton, Sanders, North Adelaide now. They use it pretty well as Noonan kicks in long. He wants Parsons, the big fella underneath the ball. He's almost there. Tongaree good spoil. Atkinson, beautifully done to North Adelaide's leading goal kicker, Craig Burt. That's his 48th for the year.
Yeah, that was well set up by Atkinson, and that's not what the Dogs want. That's very good play by the Roosters, a goal into the breeze. Noonan out wide. I see he picked up a few touches last week. He's been struggling over the last month. Tongaree up against Parsons. The ball hit the ground. Beautifully roved by Atkinson. The handball was well executed, and Burton did the rest. And as Neville mentioned, he's posted his 48th goal for the season, and North Adelaide have their first for the match.
7 plays 6. North Adelaide in front. Strong breeze, as we've mentioned before, and that's going to the right of screen, and the Dogs have got use of it in the first quarter. Tongaree named in the centre, but he's a long way from there. His handball is good. James Saywell having a run on the ball. Sanders now did well to get the ball away from David Green. Has a bit of time. Over half forward it goes, and the kick is just a little short. And marked by Christopher Pyman. Uses the breeze. Ingerson's the target. Beautiful body work by the big fella, and off he goes. Plenty of power and strength in that body as he punches one into Coffey. Just a little wide for that player. Everything was good. The lead from Coffey was timed to perfection. And the kick in, not bad, but just a little wide. Father and son at the footy. Beautiful day. A breeze favours right of screen. Redden. Perennial ruckman. Rocket Saunders couldn't control it. Opportunity for Chaplin. Looks for an out. Goes backwards on that occasion to Sutton. Plays to ground. Free kick North Adelaide. Not so, as Riley clears the decks for North Adelaide and pushes it towards centre wing. Good body work on that occasion by McCarthy. Ingerson well spoiled. Sanders. Barrett. Noonan. Good body work and tackling by the Dogs. Hamilton, but they've got the runners and they've got the speed, North Adelaide, as Sims punches it up towards half forward. Tongaree again with the big punch. Lynn will be first to it. He'll deny Atkinson any chance at all as he pushes that ball towards the boundary line and out of bounds, but in the back was the call, and that's against Atkinson in favour of Lynn. 50-metre defensive area, chipped short, and he finds the big fella, Philip Lounder.
Lounder back into the side. After a week out with injury, Roy Laird picking up a few touches early, gets that one over the top. The Dogs go forward through row. They've got to use the football. It's not a bad looking kick to find Coffey, and I can assure you from about 50 metres out, the distance will not be a problem for this man. He has a kick like a mule, and they need this one. They trail by 1 point, and we're nearly 8 minutes into the first term. As I mentioned before, I reckon they have to kick between 5 and 10. In fact, around between 6 and 10 goals with this breeze. Anything under that can be deemed a poor effort. And that is a glorious kick. That is straight through the middle. So Coffey has his first. The Dogs have the lead again. And we've had just over 8 minutes of the first term.
Grant Coffey's quite an athlete. He gets out of the blocks. Roy Laird was the player that had a bit of a look. Chip comes up the top. They work it out through defence. Rowe now goes directly towards Coffey's lead. Out in front, and you can see that Gerke close, but too quick on that occasion. Took it easily on the chest and posted his first goal.
And it's back in the middle. North Adelaide 1-1, Central 2 goal, and it's that centre square area that Central have to work very hard, especially with this breeze. They've got to get the ball out of the centre. McCarthy is there. Another opportunity to prove himself at league level. Loose ball goes out towards Sutton. He gets the handball out. In fact, that was Reimers, I should say. The Dogs go forward. Looking to the free kick was Coffey. None forthcoming. Stevens went in solidly, but we'll have it thrown in that left forward pocket at the southern end of Football Park. North Adelaide 12 wins, 8 losses. Central 7 wins, 12 losses. As I mentioned, it is the second place side in the SANFL against the 8th place side. But well, if the Dogs were to finish with a big rush, they have a chance of maybe moving up to the 7th position. And a free kick's been picked out. It will go to Ingerson, and one would not feel as confident with his kicking at goal. There's an awkward style. You want to take just slightly aim towards that right goal post. Let the breeze bring it back. It's not that far out. You're kicking from about 30 metres. Big Mick Redden's on the mark. There's the awkward drop. But it's not a bad kick, and the Dogs have 3 straight on the board, and that looks a lot better at the 9.5-minute mark.
The ruck infringement, here it is. And Redden accidentally hit Ingerson in the face. He doesn't even take much notice of it, and you don't very often see anything deliberate from Michael Redden, at least in a spiteful way. A good get by Ingerson, deep in the pocket, and he steered it through. He's been doing a lot of work on his kicking by the looks of it.
Central 3 goals, North Adelaide 1-1, and certainly with the advantage of the replay, there wasn't a lot in that, a rather technical free kick. Stevens in there working hard, gets the ball back, and now with Laird again, he kicks around his body. Loose ball though, and it's picked up by Saunders, a very reliable player. Lifts the eyes, now punches the ball low and strong, and there's a good grab taken there by Turner. He went to play on, good tackle Huey Reimers, in there McCarthy, Reimers steals it. Well, the Dogs have lifted a cog or two in the last couple of minutes. The ball now goes back, that looked like Saywell, he gets the kick forward. And that is out of play. Abbott couldn't get there in time, and the free kick will be taken by Stephen Riley. Plays on with a handball, out to Saunders once more. The Dogs in pursuit. Saunders punches it low, big fist away by Reimers again. Loose ball taken by McCarthy. He thought about the handball, he was too slow. Noonan wasn't, he got it out towards Sanders. In turn, Klomp puts the ball forward. Parsons front possession, and play-on's the call. Gee, the tackle was a little... well, I thought he could have nearly got a free kick there. Tongaree is there, he's pushed out of it. Atkins likewise, courtesy of Gurdon. Now Phillips kicks one around his body. Well trapped by Hamilton. How's that for a goal? That's a gem.
You might say some justice there. I thought that Parsons was overhandled, trying to take the mark on the chest. And let's have a look at Phillips did pretty well here. Hamilton again, there he is there. Back in the square. Phillips around the corner. Opportunity now. Hamilton traps it. Tackle too high for starters. Possibly would have got a free kick for that as well, but snapped it through. He's a real talent, Hamilton. A good goal scoring half forward.
So the Roosters doing well into the breeze. They're on 2-1, Central 3 goals. Up high is Lounder, gets the ball down. Opportunity for Barrett, now coming through solidly for the Dogs. That was Saywell again, number 29, James Saywell. Going through is Phillips. Chaplin got it out towards Lounder. He puts a wobbly one towards goal, and he's kicked it. So there's the quick reply. They have 4 straight. It wasn't convincing off the boot, but it achieved the desired result.
A little unorthodox by the big fella, but that you can't do much more than kick the goal. Ryan through. Plenty of North Adelaide players there, but it was the Dogs who worked it out well. Finally the handball to Lounder. The big fella had no time or space in which to work. He just slammed it on his boot. He knew where the goals were with the aid of a breeze. He posted his first, and the Dogs' fourth straight.
13 points pays 24. Nearly 13 minutes into the first term. Lounder up high, but Redden won the tap, then tried to sock it off the ground. It went out towards Hamilton. In there, trying to get the apply the tackle is Sims. But umpire Mark Westgard judges that one to be a dead heat. Phillips, Stixie Phillips, hands the ball back. And we'll have a bounce on the offensive side of that centre circle for the Roosters. Lounder and Redden. Redden wins the tap. And there is Green. But it will be take 2. What a warhorse Mickey Redden is. And there's Alan Stewart, coach of the Dogs. He would have been delighted with last week's performance. And he's in that rebuilding mode at the moment. Stewart, as Rowe takes the football. It's a long and direct kick. Coffey's got the sit here. Oh, it's a beautiful grab. He was underneath the football. He extended the arms, eyes on the ball all the way, and that was a superb mark.
And described well by Kim. Everything you have to do. Took his player Gerke under the ball. Not a bad defender either. Hard to fall, and just athletic at best. Coffey shouldn't have a problem from 20.
Kick number 2, and don't tell me he's blotted the copybook. He has. There's the first point, and Central move along to 4-1, and that was perhaps the easiest shot of the game, Neville.
Yeah, straight in front with Breeze behind you. Just needed to go through the rhythm, straight through the ball. He tried to guide it a little bit and made a mistake. 25 plays 13. The kick in. Rocket Saunders now with an opportunity. He's quite a player. Up over half forward, or half back I should say. Full push in the back by Saywell. Not by Saywell, he ended up with it, but Dogs were unlucky not to get a free kick further down the ground. That was Abbott. The crumb though will be Hollins. He's got the job on Ingerson today. That's a big contract. North Adelaide have lined up nothing like they appeared in the paper. That's never unusual. Coffey was supposed to start at half forward, but he and Ingerson Ingerson in a pocket, but Ingerson's at half forward. Coffey's at full forward. Sorry, for Central, that is, of course. And that's not a bad way to start, and I'm sure that Michael Noonan probably would have picked most of that. Handley's on a half forward flank rather than a forward pocket.
Just while the ball's out of play, what's your philosophy on those type of tactics? Because we notice Mike Noonan always lines up as he names his side, and you know, he never gets involved in those games.
No, there's little bit of game by it, Kim. You know, you might every now and then pull one where you can float a runner through half forward or something without, you know, if he plays up over a half back line or something. But where big fellas like Ingerson, Handley and Coffey are concerned, I think Noonan knows exactly where they'll line up, and he'd probably just man them up anyway, give a man the job. Pretty easy to coach.
Fair point. Stevens drops one across. This could be dangerous. Noonan nearly intercepted. Lind is there. He was dispossessed. In there leaning good support is Sale. Gee, moves like his father. The ball now goes out to Reimers. Sally wore number 31. His son wears 29. Now the handball out to Tongaree. Now the Dogs lead by 2 goals, but it's not enough with this breeze, but there's plenty of time as the crowd shout out too far and the umpire agrees. A little bit of frustration there for the Dogs. Gary Sutton couldn't believe it. But Tongaree just getting carried away with the occasion, forgot to bounce the ball, and it will now be transferred back to that outer wing, and Klomp has it. Drops in a short pass, and he finds Hamilton, who was Neville mentioned earlier. Makes this game look pretty easy. Kick number 4. Already has 1 goal. That one holds up into the breeze. McCarthy all over the back of Lounder. He looks to the umpire. Didn't dispute the decision. And talking of workhorses, this man tries very hard, Philip Lounder. Kicked it straight to his opposing ruckman in Redden, who couldn't control the mark. Klomp gave it to him. Then Redden did likewise to, I think that was Barrett, wasn't it? But the Dogs repel that. And that one is out of bounds on the full. So it will be North Adelaide once more to bring the ball back into play, courtesy of Bradley Ryan, former West Adelaide player. He was involved in a rather protracted, in fact it won't be taken by him, it'll be taken by Holland. Bradley was involved in a rather protracted legal battle to gain a clearance, and he ended up with the Roosters. He's been a fairly useful player. Hamilton picks up kick number 5, puts it around his body, and Burton takes the mark. Very quick player. Talking of former West Adelaide players, so too was Burton. Now there's the first 50 metres, Tongaree coming over the mark. So he's made 2 bad mistakes in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And we'll see if Burton can capitalise on this. He already has 1 goal. We've had 17 and a half minutes of this first term. Central kicking with a very strong breeze. Burton charges in. And had the distance but not the accuracy. So Craig Burton has 1-1 and North Adelaide move along to 2-2, Central 4-1.
And Tongaree named in the centre, but has the job on Burton today. Not a bad move. He's got the reach and speed to go with Burton. Don't want to make mistakes, too many more mistakes like running too far with the footy. That's pretty basic to this game. Opportunity for North Adelaide. Oh, too much with the hands, held on for too long, and 50 for wasting time against the Dogs. So that'll go against Atkinson. Trump it was. With the ball is Abbott. John Abbott. Off he goes. He pushes it up towards Ingerson on a lead. Oh, shoves. But that was Coffey. Shoved Gerke out. And the umpire, it might, with the help of a replay, not be as obvious or to the umpire.
Well, once again, he ran him under the ball and just gave him a little nudge. He extended the hands, and it was obvious from up here, but umpire's pretty reluctant to ping a player for that.
Third kick for Coffey. That's a better shot at goal. He kicks his second, and Central hit 5-1.
Yes, and it should have been 6 goals. Coffey was the culprit. He missed an easier one earlier. But it was a good grab. He put Gerke under the ball again, then just gave him a little nudge, this time with the arms, though, or the hands, I should say. Let's have a look at it. Now, do you ping an umpire for that? It was in the side. He just pushed him around the hip and ribcage area. It was just enough. But, and then, of course, Coffey propped, which accentuated the movement of Gerke, but he took the mark. It was allowed, and he's kicked 2-1. But what we've noticed about Gerke, he might get off to a bad start every now and again, but he manages to fight back pretty well.
The 31 plays 14 with the use of a 4 to 5 goal breeze. The Dogs not doing too badly. North Adelaide working the ball well into the breeze as well. Sable got it back, was intercepted by Hamilton. He got it on to Sims, and the Roosters are forward underneath the ball. Parsons, 2 grabs, not paid. Atkinson stays with it, goes over the ball, flips it out the back. The umpire has played it as an in the back, and that's against Pyman. Pretty hard, I thought. He went to ground pretty much of his own volition, Kim.
Yeah, he's paddling the ball forward there. Now you have a look, I think it's Pyman comes in now. I think there was both their feet got tangled then, and eventually he did fall on top of him, but they were both going to ground. Let's see if he can make the most of this opportunity. Won't be easy with the breeze going left or right.
I hate the game to be decided by a kick like, or a free kick like that. Offline to the left, so North Adelaide. Justice would say Central District supporters, 2-goal, 3-15. They trail 5-1-31. We're 20 minutes into the first quarter here at Footy Park.
16-point advantage to the Dogs. Is that enough? That's the question. There's still probably about 8 minutes remaining of this term, 8 or 9 minutes. This time the kick comes out to Rowe. Stands his ground, takes the mark. Could have nearly played on. Should be getting the ball in quickly. Ingerson's moved to the centre of the ground. Now he goes towards the grandstand, but Rowe keeps that one low and short, and he finds Tongaree. Now, a move's been made. It looks like Tongaree's on the ball now. That's definitely the move. He's been taken off Burton, who was looking rather dangerous. The kick goes forward. It's not a good one, and it goes straight to Nick Holland. So Holland with the football, puts it out wide. Barrett's been left all by himself. Pretty good at finding the spaces, Stephen Barrett. He'll be in no real hurry here. They'll want to just try and keep possession. He's a beautiful kick, and he's manoeuvred that one nicely in the direction of McCarthy. He couldn't control it. He tries to push the ball forward. Players jump on top. And we'll have a bounce about 60 metres out from the North Adelaide goal, and that will be performed by umpire David Elliott. Not a big crowd here at the park. Conditions pretty good. As that ball is pushed to ground. Plomp on the bottom of the pack, tried to get a handball out. Sims is there, so too Atkinson. There's a beautiful bit of footwork there. No one can really control the ball. Eventually it's thrown onto the boot of a central player. I'm not sure which one. It goes out towards Sanders. He goes back to Redden. Redden on the left boot. That's a lovely parcel just over the head of Atkinson. Any other player probably would have been a mark. Brodie's not the tallest man that plays football, but Redden did that pretty well.
Here to Farman. There's a lot of commuting between Farm and Adelaide to play football for North Adelaide. Has for many years served state and club brilliantly. Free kick, says umpire Elliott, and that'll go to number 53, John Abbott. For the Dogs, he'll probably bring it down this grandstand side. He does. He wants Rowe, Ingerson behind him. In fact, that was the player he was looking for. Rowe knew it and got under the footy. He goes on with the ball over towards half forward where he came from, but it's all North Adelaide. They combine pretty well, but Stevens reads it better if it sits for him. Good shepherd by Gurdon, gives Stevens every opportunity, but oh gee, made a mess of that. Barrett over to Gerke, back to Barrett. They're still into the chance here, the Dogs, if they can get possession back. Barrett plays percentages and takes it to the line. It was a good shepherd by Roger Gurdon, gave Stevens plenty of chance, and he tried to do a little bit too much with the ball. I think he was trying to centre it rather than have a shot at goal. They lost possession there, but they're still in their forward line. Redden with the knock. Saunders, now Barrett. They combine pretty well, the North Adelaide defence. Saw them with Prospect a couple of weeks ago and against the Tigers, and they were brilliant. Hands and knees, Klomp. Ryan Sanders out of the centre, nowhere to go. McCarthy, short, Klomp, great tackle led. Play on's the call. They're at the body, the Dogs, and they deserve a break. Big Hugh Reamers, on he goes. He'll be in the draft as it sorts itself out in November, I would say. Not many players his size running around out of the AFL. Off the ground, no free kick. Sutton with an opportunity now. Round the body he goes. And 1 point only to the Dogs, so they're working pretty hard for their 5 goals too. They're 32. They lead the Roosters 2-3-15. We're really into time on here at Footy Park.
He puts it out towards Noonan. Oh, Ingerson did well to get there, but Noonan did better to take the mark, and now he puts it out towards Bradley Ryan. Ball should sit, but it doesn't. It was wobbling all over the place. There's one player to beat in Rowe. Did that well. Puts it up towards centre half forward and just dropping in to take the mark. There is Turner. Peter Turner, who came back into the side after a hamstring injury. Puts the ball deep into attack. Parsons sets himself, big fist away, goes down towards Atkinson again. He does read the play very well, Brady Atkinson, and he's also played for that free kick, and he earned that one. It was certainly there. We're approaching time on. We're nearly at the 25-minute mark as he transfers the play back towards David Sanders, affectionately known as Sheep to his teammates. That's his third kick. One covers everybody and goes out towards Geister, I think that is. And the ball is out of play on that outer side in front of the West End Super sign as we have a look at the North Adelaide bunker there. And those two men have been together for quite some time now, something like 11 or 12 years, I think, Jeff Paul and Mickey Noonan. Paddling the ball around is Sanders again, and umpire David Elliott will bounce. So we're into time on. We've had 25.5 minutes, and it is the Dogs leading by 17 points.
Ball up. Parsons got the knock, but the Dogs came away with it only as far as Kimmy Klomp. Number 7 for the Roosters. He's their skipper. And having his 6th kick. Pretty well put. That's a very pedestrian and late attack on the ball by Pyman. With the ball though is Turner. Puts it in up over half forward, holds up into the breeze. He wanted passes, it won't even get, well, got close to him, but Laird doing well. He's been shifted on to Burton. He started the game further up the ground. An important job there, Rowe on the wing. His kick is terrible though, only as far as Ryan. He's kicked back towards centre wing and Timmy Noonan gets underneath it. It was Riley who put it there, I should say. And Noonan wants to get on with it quickly. He heads towards McCarthy at half forward. The big fella gets under it, does it well, uses the body onto Sims. They put it up high. Parsons is the target. Oh, big jump from behind, and that has to be a free kick. Easter up too early, and Parsons, who's been looking dangerous most of the day, just hadn't had an opportunity. Didn't really interfere that much with him, but certainly was in his back. And the big fella will have a shot at goal. Rolled up today with an eye patch on Parsons. A bit of a sty in his eye, or on the side of his eye, and a stitch or two there. So a brave performance to be on the ground today. He'll kick from 15 metres. His first kick, and he worked that very hard for his first goal.
He just snuck that one through, and it was bad luck. Well, I suppose it was poor play for Paul Geister, because let's have a look how it happened. McCarthy took the mark, he gave it to Sims. Sims centred this ball nicely, but Parsons was always going to be underneath the football here, and Geister eyes on the ball and ran straight into the back of Parsons, and perhaps didn't read the flight of the ball as well as he should have. And the bottom line is North Adelaide kicked a goal courtesy of Parsons, and they get a little bit closer now. 3-3, Central 5-2, so I would suggest they haven't done enough with this breeze, the Central District side, and the Dogs will have to work very hard in the second term. 11
points separates the side, and the Dogs with a marginal lead, given the state of play here at Footy Park. A 4 or 5 goal breeze, and North Adelaide will have the use of it in about 2 or 3 minutes. Free kick though to the Dogs. And it's John Abbott. He's done pretty well in this first quarter. He's at 50, and if he can get his leg through the footy and puts it up high enough, the distance shouldn't be a problem. He's got a gale at his back. His 5th kick, it's high enough. It'll get the distance all right, or will it? Very close indeed. It's pushed over for 1 point, and that would have been within a metre of goal, I would say. Not a bad effort. So North Adelaide 3-3-21. Central 5-3-33.
And Gerke puts it out towards Stephen Riley, one of the veterans of this North Adelaide side. He plays on, Chaplin applying the pressure. It's a good kick around the body to find Ryan, who thought about the handle over the top to Holland, but Abbott had that one covered. There's a kick into the man on the mark, but according to umpire David Elliott, that's over the mark, so that's 50 metres. So little Shane Tongery not having a big day. He's given away 2 50-metre penalties now and made a couple of other mistakes. So he's going to put his head down and work hard. There's plenty of football left in this game as the ball is put across the ground. Now, my way of thinking, Ryan should be able to play him when he wants. He doesn't have to wait for the man to get on the mark. Not according to Elliott. He gets very close to Tongery again. Puts the ball up high. The ball hits the ground. In there is Girdham. He's had a quiet first turn. And umpire Mark Westgarth will bounce. about 55, 60 metres out from North Adelaide's goal. Not much time remaining. We've had 29 3/4 minutes of this first term. The ball goes down towards Atkinson. It's held to him. And once more we'll have a bounce. 27 is Brendan Phillips. A stint with the Brisbane Bears. And return to his former club, North Adelaide. Pretty useful player. Started his football as a wingman. He gets the hit away there. Goes down. Underneath it was Hanley. Hanley's been a little bit quiet. Girdham shows the desperation he's renowned for. Nearly a clever handball by Noonan. Now that was nearly a throw by Burton. With the kick away from Laird is up high. Laird's been a very good player in this first term. Now an opportunity as Saywell kicks it straight towards Klomp. Klomp's been a good player. He puts it up high and wide, and out there he finds Atkinson. Could this be their last chance to score? He plays on. He knows there's not much time left. Centres the ball nicely. Lounder is there. So too Reimers. He couldn't take it. Now the handball from Girdham out towards Rowe. He in turn puts out a long one to Stevens. Let's see if he's a left or right footer after that effort in the goal square. He takes a bounce. Looks like he'll kick with the right. No, this time he handballs, and the old 1-2, it goes back to that player. He'll have to be quick. He had too much pace for Klomp. There it is. He's a left footer. That's why he botched one in the square before. And the mark's been taken by Bradley Ryan. Yeah, well, that perhaps explains, Neville, what happens to Stevens about 15 to 20 metres out before when he was caught on the right foot.
Indeed it does, Kim, and he tried to do too much with it anyway, knowing he was on his wrong leg. He should have gone for percentage. Pretty easy up here. Of course, Sanders playing in the centre on David Green, who's dispossessed him. Did well, plenty of strength there to get the ball to Chaplin. Now to Tongaree. There's a batch of players on the ground behind. Stevens on to Girdham, short, and umpire Elliott's seen a free kick. Now I missed it. I was following the ball, but something outside the rules. Looks like it's happened to Barrett, and he'll receive the free kick.
Yeah, there was a Shefford that came in late, and it was a little bit high, and it's a golden opportunity going begging for the Dogs.
Well, they had the ball 20 metres from goal, and that would have been a beauty on the siren. North Adelaide 3-3, 21. Central 5-3, 33. The action's on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Start of the second term here at Football Park, and North Adelaide 3-3, trailing Central 5-3, 12 points in it as the Dogs are about to go in attack. Beautiful smother by Stixie Phillips off the boot of David Green, and Phillips shows a bit of speed too. He's on the left boot, he hooks the ball back from just outside 50, going through solidly a number of players. Parsons, good handball to Atkinson. There's the first goal. There's 6 points the difference.
Too easy the way they brought that ball in. 18 seconds into the second quarter. Atkinson was the player that finished it off, but there was some good work getting it in there. They stole it here. Phillips, beautiful smother. Then used his pace over half forward. Look at him outstrip Roy Laird there. Just put the pedal to the floor. Got it back centre. Klompy came through pretty strong. He wanted it bad, but Parsons was the one that gathered it, chipped it up to Atkinson, and the little fella puts through his first goal.
So all of a sudden a 6 points difference. 18 seconds that one took. Back centre field, Elliott puts ball to ground, and Lounder wins the tap. It goes out in the direction of Hamilton. Couldn't take it. Sanders can. He puts a kick around his body. There's a good mark taken by Turner. Now Turner could put this right in the square. Parsons on a lead. He should kick long. He could nearly... Well, he didn't get onto that one. Parsons is there and nearly took the mark. Just got under it a bit. The ball socket off the ground. It goes back towards Philip Lounder. Uses his body well. Did well to get that ball back towards Chaplin. Chaplin in turn kicks it out wide. Rowe is there. So too Sims, but neither player will get the football before it goes over the boundary line. So we've had 1.5 minutes. And the old chips at Footy Park, they taste pretty good. And that lad looks like he's enjoying them with a cup of Coke. Sanders gets it. Good smother. Now Reimers out towards Rowe. Rowe puts it up towards centre half forward. Players jostling for front position. Bradley Ryan had it. Sutton was taken out of it. Loose ball, Tongaree. That's a good handball. Had a rough first quarter. Now Saywell chips out a pass. Coffey has it, and that was better football, and that was beautifully set up by Tongaree.
Good run, good support by the Dogs. They had players there. Tongaree eyes were good, and Saywell provided the run, and he's chipped to Coffey. Superb.
This will be kick number 4. He's kicked 2-1 with his previous 3 kicks. Missed an easy one. He's into the breeze now. He starts it to the left, and the breeze should have brought that back a little bit, but he kicked so powerfully and kept that one low that that one went straight through for a point.
4-3 plays 5-4, 7 points, and the Dogs are in the lead. They're kicking into a breeze, which North Adelaide would expect to kick 4 or 5 with. Bradley Ryan, off he goes, sells the dummy and pushes the ball back towards the centre of the ground. He wants to keep the ball in the railway lines, but it's wide now as Chaplin and McCarthy go towards it. Oh, good tackle, McCarthy. He was beaten to the ball by Chaplin. The Sanders who finally get possession. Phillips now getting plenty of touches on that wing. He puts it up to half forward. Watch Atkinson jump. It's a great take. You could see it in his read. He put everyone off guard and took it beautifully. Pushes it in though. The run is with Stevens, or Laird that is. Saywell. Oh, did that beautifully. Possession. Now they're a chance. The Dogs as Girdham comes up towards Ingerson. That's completed, and Ingerson will get it in very quickly if he can get free. He can. Off goes Coffey. That's the way it'll go. He kicks into the breeze. It holds up. Plenty of Roosters there, and they read it better than any of the Dogs. Barrett in particular, and he's one of the best for North Adelaide for mine. Playing well off that half-back line. He goes back through the centre of the ground. Gives McCarthy a real opportunity. Reamers with him. This will be interesting too. Pretty big men going at the footy. He's held Reamers, and that's a free kick. Umpire Elliott agrees with me. No, I would have made a great umpire. Reamers now. Short. Chaplin. Don't get any approval up here in the box, but still. Chaplin wide. Looks out there for Sutton, but it's out of bounds, says the umpire, and we'll have a throw in just forward of centre for the Dogs.
You got enough freeze from the umpires when you're playing. Throw in on the outer side. 4.5 minutes into this second term. North Adelaide 4-3, Central 5-4. Girdham gets the handball away out towards Tongrey. Let's see what he can do. Received an unfavourable bounce. Sims was ridden into the ground. Got the handball away to Barrett though. He manages to get rid of the football in a rather unorthodox fashion. Now Girdham has it over towards Chaplin. Drew the player. It goes over to Stevens. He's on the left boot. There should be a goal. And it is. So the Dogs doing pretty well in the opening stages of this second term into the breeze, and Stevens has kicked his second.
That was with his 5th kick. North Adelaide pride themselves on being good in close with their hands and so on, but it was Central District here who were better with their hands. It was Chaplin over to Stevens, and as we established in that second quarter, he prefers to kick with that left foot. Runs into the open goal, but into a breeze, mind you, and he posted it for his second. A valuable goal into the breeze. Scotty Stevens.
Back centre field, Central leading 6-4-40 over North Adelaide 4-3-27. Ball hits the ground, Noonan is there, so too Redden. He's bundled out of it. And, well, that was a little premature, the blowing of that whistle by umpire Mark Westgarth. You must give the players time to work the ball out, and that ball was free. Lounder opposed to Redden once more. Neither won the tap. Green socketed off the ground. Girdham is in there, met solidly by Barrett. That's a dead heat if ever you saw one. 6 minutes into the second term. 6-4 plays 4-3. North Adelaide in second position. Central in 8. North have had to make some changes today. They've lost Bennett, Krieg, Mancini and Tasker. Into the side, Turner, McCarthy, Marshall and Josh Mayle. As the ball goes back out in the direction of Saywell. He paddles the ball in turn out towards Barrett. Barrett with a sweeping handball to Sims, who was just sweating out there waiting for the ball to come in his direction. He gets the kick in. Hanley pushes it over the line and it's rushed through for a point. And now the margin once more is 12 points, and that's what it was at the end of the first term.
There's a little cutie. He prefers the ice creams to the chips. Got Teddy with him. What a day, you beauty. From fullback, Roy Laird's the recipient. Then kicked it in. They've got possession. Into the breeze they go. Decides to go long. Chaplin takes front spot. Reamers, is it? Yes. No, Geester. Too high was the call, and he's free kicked. Uses the left boot, goes to Lounder. 1-2 grabs, did it well. They play on quickly. Tongrey, want to be quick here. Oh, he's caught. Well taken by Turner. They force the error now as Clonk, oh, he gives the ball up to Reamers as if he asked for it. And his kick is beautifully put to find Scott Stevens. On the left boot he goes. His kick is a shocker to go straight to Rocket. Saunders and North Adelaide would be feeling a bit relieved. Central doing well into the breeze so far. They've kicked a couple as Sims takes it, centre wing. We want to get on with it quickly. He's got Hamilton in space, and also Barrett, is it? His kick is beautifully done. Oh, Atkins into the open goal. Let's have a look at him. He's pretty skillful normally, but he's wide on this occasion. Left and is angry with himself, so he should be too. That's a pretty straightforward goal, and he already has one, Atkinson. He would have loved that one.
He's kicked 1-2 now, and that was certainly an easy one. The ball is brought out nicely, and the mark has been taken there. And that was Geester. Paul Geester puts it out towards Tongaree. Tongaree plays on quickly, has a bounce. He's got a fair amount of speed. Now he puts it up high. Players set themselves. Oh, there's a free kick. Not paid by the umpire, so they've been pretty lenient in that regard to the defenders. Parsons could have won a few free kicks in the first term and didn't get them. And Ingerson throws Saunders to the ground, and we'll have a throw in that right forward pocket. We might take another look at that one. It may look a little bit different in replay.
Up they go, and oh, that's a free kick. Unlucky Coffey on that occasion.
Gee, that was nearly a coat hanger, and Tongaree ducked his head then. He got the handball out, but it didn't go to anyone from his side. It went straight to Gerke. In turn, his handball goes out towards Phillip, starting to come into the game nicely. His pass finds the waiting chest of Stephen Sims. Now they should get it in quickly. Players bolt in different directions. Parsons is there. The ball over the head of that player, and will go out of bounds in the left forward pocket. Southern end of Football Park. And that is the way the breeze is blowing here at the park, and it's quite strong as well. Stephen Sims, former West Torrens player, and there is the breeze. As you can see, it's going to right of screen, and it's fairly strong. 4-5-29 North Adelaide, Central 6-4-40. We've had 9 minutes of the second term, so the Dogs are doing pretty well into the breeze.
Remus to ground, and the umpire on this occasion, Mark Westgarth, says I'll have it. A strong breeze from left to right of screen. North Adelaide have use of it now. They did pretty well in the first. They kicked three against it, and the Dogs kicked 5. It's a 12-point advantage to Central at the change. There's an 11-point margin at this minute. The Dogs have maintained that. Atkinson now caught with the ball as he gives it up to Rowe. His opposite number, Phillips, using plenty of pace. He'd have to be high on North's best as well. So too Atkinson gives it to Noonan. They're good in close. North Adelaide, McCarthy into the open goal, and he's offline, I think, is he? No, he's put it through for his first.
And Damien McCarthy will be quite relieved with that, because since leaving the Woodville Football Club, he's struggled at North Adelaide. He's had a number of opportunities. Let's take a look at how it happened. There's Phillips once more. The handball goes back to Atkinson. He's very good in close quarters. He punches out a handball to Noonan. He in turn puts over a nice one to McCarthy, has time, has a quick look, and bangs it through. He didn't hold back. He was only 20 metres out, and he put it through the middle. That'll give him some confidence, and it also edges North Adelaide a little bit closer.
5 points separate the two sides with the Dogs. 6-4, North Adelaide 5-5. It's round 23 at Footy Park. A breeze from left to right of screen. And North Adelaide are second. They're equal with the Eagles at the moment on points, but have a 6% margin. So they look like holding on to that second spot. The Dogs are in 8th position. They had a giant win last week at home against league leaders Port Adelaide. So they're feeling pretty confident, and Ingerson at half forwards giving them pretty organised forward line. They look all right. McCarthy's got the ball. That is holding the ball. Damien McCarthy and Hugh Remus did that pretty well for a big man. Good contest, these two. Let's have a look at that again.
Yes, nothing he could do. His arm was pinned. It was a good tackle by Remus. And it was one of those situations where you don't like to take possession because he had no chance of getting rid of it. The handball from Noonan out wide. Sims, will he get a free kick? No, not according to the umpire. And we'll have a throw in on that outer side. Quite interesting when you look through this North Adelaide side. A number of players from other clubs. Stephen Sims, former West Torrens player. Craig Burton, West Adelaide. Kim Clont, Sturt. Stephen Barrett, West Torrens. Bradley Ryan, West Adelaide. And Damien McCarthy, former Woodville player. As the ball goes down towards Hanley. Oh, he was tackled by Burton. Play on the call. And look at Timmy Noonan. He's saying umpire David Elliott that was holding the ball, and Simsy wouldn't have been short of a word either. Let's have a look at this. He had time to get rid of it.
Caught cold. That's holding the ball. It's a classic. Maybe the umpire was unsighted. We've got great vision from here.
Elliott puts ball to ground. Launder tried to tap it back, taken by Noonan, couldn't get the kick away. Lynn soccers it off the ground, goes to the open spaces, but it's all North Adelaide as Redden takes it, chips out a pass, and wasn't the best kick, but it found Hamilton, and no 50 metres, the crowd wanted it. Kick number 6. It's a pass in towards McCarthy, and he takes a good mark. So maybe he'll get 2 goals in as many minutes.
Well, with Bennett out of the side, McCarthy's got his opportunity at half forward, and really this quarter he's looked pretty good. It's a good contest between him and Reimers. He has 1 goal this quarter, Kim, and he's been in the thick of things. He's a big man and he's very athletic.
Yeah, I saw him play some very good games for the Woodville Football Club in his debut year, and he's just struggled since then. But it's a learning curve, and that's what he's doing at the moment. Let's see what he does with this one. He's only kicking from about 35 metres out. He has squeezed that one through, so he has 2 goals, but more importantly, North Adelaide have the lead by 1 point.
And they would be they'd be happy with that halfway through the quarter to overtake the Dogs, who led by 12 points at quarter time. The kick in beautifully put. McCarthy provided the space and got into it pretty well. As was said, North Adelaide without Bennett this week, so a vacancy there for McCarthy, and he's doing everything in his power to make sure he gets a game next week. His 2nd goal, in fact, 2 this quarter.
Back in the centre, North Adelaide 6-5-41, leading Central 6-4-40 as the Roosters go forward again. So it could be crunch time now for the Dogs. They've got to hold North Adelaide, and we're only at the 14-minute mark of this 2nd term. And the Roosters could quite easily put on 4 or 5 the way they play their football. They go forward again. Unable to take it was Reimers, going through solidly is Parsons. Roy Laird is there. Have a look at that haircut. That's a beauty. Looks like an 8-ball. Pretty tough customer, and he's been playing well. Maybe it gives him a little bit of speed. Actually, Neville Roberts just commented he's still got more hair than him. I was thinking it. Loose ball. Noonan is there again. So too Sims. There's Laird. And we'll have a bounce about 30 metres out, and it's imperative that this man's side gets this ball out of the danger zone.
Alan Stewart still got another couple of years on his contract as he reaches for the phone. Pretty pleased with current form. Not happy with his 7 wins this year, but a pretty young side. Well done on that occasion by Phillips, picking up lots of touches. The kick in is high. Passes with 2, he's got it, the big fella. He's met pretty solidly at the end too, and in some pain, Kim.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's the knee that caused the problem. I thought he was hit high. Let's take a look at it. The umpire was right there. In he comes. See that superior height advantage. He's not really known to be a one grabber. Now, in they come. Oh, no, it was the ball that actually hit him in the face, but he copped a knock to the knee when he landed, and that's causing a little bit of discomfort to the big man. And he's taking plenty of time. He's kicked 1 goal, and they could ill afford to lose this man with a serious injury because they have struggled up forward this year.
And Mike Noonan has done a lot of work on Parsons to get him into a position where he goes at the ball with both hands, something he wasn't doing that well in other parts of his career, but he's looked pretty good at full forward. Let's have a look at him from 25. Stabs at it and still in some duress. He has kicked better than that for goal over the last month or so. As he tucks his head down, in some pain still. So North Adelaide 6-5-41. The scoreboard catches up now. 6-6-42, 6-4-40.
Lynn plays on to himself, gains about 10 or 15 metres, but more importantly sets up the loose man. And Trevor Rowe now has the football. Another one you could describe as a veteran of the SANFL. He's had 241 games. I wonder if he'll go on next year to get his 250th. He's had a pretty good season. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't, as Barrett goes forward again, and that's a very good mark there, taken by Lynn again. Originally recruited from the Brisbane Bears, came down as a rover. He's a real goal sneak, but he's found his niche in the back pocket the last few seasons, and I think if you remember last year, he was an absolute bolter in the Magarey medal before being overhauled by Mark Nayley and Peter Banfield. Free kick. North Adelaide supporters not happy. Nearly 17 minutes into this second term. The Dogs go forward. They push the ball to the outer side. Ingerson was there, so too Holland. The ball still in play. Nick Holland does that well. That's a very good handball out towards Sanders. He plays on quickly, puts it inside 50. Players set themselves. The ball hits the ground. A little bit of desperation starting to occur out there at the moment as the ball is put up high. Test of courage. Atkinson stood his ground, so too did Stevens, and the umpires called that one a dead heat, and I think rightly so. North Adelaide supporters in the crowd shaking their head, but I think they both had a bit of that one, and Atkinson comes up a little bit proppy as well. So Parsons not 100%, Atkinson in a little bit of pain, and they have 4 players out from last week's performance against West Adelaide, so they can ill afford injuries at this time of the year, North Adelaide. Well done Phillips to give it to Sanders. He puts it up high. At the back of the pack there, taking it is Chopper Hanley. Oh, and gee, that's a kick you'd like to forget.
And in the square there, Noonan wouldn't have been happy with Craig Burton's effort. He jumped against Parsons, shouldn't have. Let's have a look at this more importantly, though. The kick looks like out in the full, and the breeze wouldn't have helped on that occasion, but bad mistake. 5th kick to Turner. Let's see what he can do with it. Almost impossible angle. Still impossible with a kick like that. Over they go. Into the pocket with the run is Reimers. Burton chasing him. He's got some pace. He's run away from Burton. That's a great effort by the big fella as he puts it back through the centre of the ground. Tongaree there. That's who he wanted. Quick hands to Chaplin. That's almost too quick for him. They've lost it though. Turn over to Sanders. He won't waste it. Pretty skillful player. He's on David Green today, who normally plays half back. More of a tag than an equal match there. Turner now see what he can do as he puts it up high. And again he's offline. Almost the same spot out on the full. There's Pyman and Turner. Flash body for body. 42 plays 40, 18 minutes gone, 2nd quarter.
Yeah, that was great thinking by Tongaree on the outer side, but he just couldn't execute the handball. The idea was right, he just couldn't get it to his teammate. They would have been home and hose if that handball had come off. Well, they tried again, so they're persisting. This time the handball goes out towards Rowe. In turn, he finds Ingerson. Now, one-on-one up the field. Will they move it down in that direction quickly? Ingerson puts it back towards Rowe. The handball goes over the top. Opportunity now for Abbott. Abbott in turn drives the ball into Coffey, and that was good football. Difficult angle this time though. That's his 5th mark for Coffey, and the ball is going across the ground. This will be kick number 5. He's kicked 2 goals, 2, so he's been within scoring range with every possession that he's taken. Not a bad looking kick. But as I mentioned, pretty difficult with that breeze. He was kicking into the face of it. So he's kicked 2-3. He's getting the ball, but he's just not finishing off at this stage.
Brantley Coffey offline. 2nd quarter here at Footy Park. 20 minutes in. We'll have another 5 minutes plus time on. And with the ball close to the line, Gary Sutton sees it out. It's at half forward for the Dogs. They led it quarter time by 12 points. They trail now by just the 1 point. Not a bad effort. I wouldn't want North Adelaide to kick a couple of quick goals in time on. They're not bad at that, North Adelaide. They always take the option. They always take opportunity late in quarters. A lot of other sides are relaxing, waiting for the siren. Lynn mops up behind the pack. Has a look upfield. Not too many places to go. He wanted the line. He didn't want it that close though. And Turner will bring the ball back in from an out on the full mistake by Lynn. In it comes. Over the 50. Parsons gets front position. Reimers behind, couldn't take it. Hanley mops it up. Over to Girdham. Wide to, in fact that was Laird. And he goes wide. I think it was Reimers actually, the big fella on the left boot. Laird's got it back again anyway. That was Saywell, number 29. And they've got it now through Sutton. His kick is short, beautifully put to Tongaree. Now, as long as he doesn't waste it from here, he has it, he puts it up high. He's got Ingerson and he's got Coffey. See how they go between them, the 2 big fellas. But North Adelaide get the bounce. Phillips did that brilliantly. Noonan gives the runner, Gerke, the opportunity. He's run himself into strife. Coffey, good effort to get down there and chase the North Adelaide player. Hamilton. Turner's got it now. Caught without the ball. Pyman with him. The umpire will bounce it. And Michael Noonan shakes his head. He'd probably be talking about the umpiring there.
I think not. I think not. I think he'd be very disappointed with the opportunities they had then. They did nothing with it. And their full credit must go to the Dogs at this stage. North Adelaide arrested the lead away from them at the 13-minute mark. We're now at the 22-minute mark, and there's only 1 point the difference. So Central have really dug in for the last 9 minutes. Yeah, no, North Adelaide could have done a lot more then, coming down the ground. They had players running. Bounce right on the 50-metre line by Elliott, taken by McCarthy. Did that far too easily. The handball goes out to Sims, conceding a little bit of ground, but he has plenty of time. He just chips away, has that stabbing action. That's a good grab by Parsons. Now he's walking more freely, so let's hope he can convert from about 30 metres out.
And Sims had far too much time and room to bring that ball back into Parsons there, and that's really what we talk about, pressure up the ground. It does make life pretty easy when your players up the field have so much time to pick you off like that.
Kick number 3. He's kicked 1-1 so far. Remus has done a very good job. That's a more deliberate approach. Oh, and you won't get a better or straighter kick than that. That was a gem off the boot. Parsons has kicked 2, and North Adelaide go further ahead at the 23-minute mark.
And just as a lapse in concentration by the Dogs, as I said, they've been pretty good in close today. But on this occasion, Sims just had too much time there. He could pick out anybody he wanted. Parsons got out on a lead, and the ball was beautifully put, even though Remus was right with him. He just had too much time to set it in nicely. No pressure up the ground, and Parsons, with his second, extends the lead for the Roosters.
Very important period for both sides with about 6 minutes remaining. North Adelaide 7-6, Central 6-5. Phillips taps it over. Sanders has had a good second term. Over the top is Klomp. He's been a little bit quieter after a good first term. And umpire Mark Westgarth decides to bounce. He's officiating with David Elliott this afternoon here at Football Park. August the 22nd. The 8th side in the SANFL playing the second side as 5 sides prepare themselves to play in the finals in 1992, and that's what it's all about. And the other 4, well, they can start thinking about 1993. 48 points, plays 41. North Adelaide lead by 7 points. Young love, it's beautiful. Some terrible comments in the background here. Brady Atkinson has the football, drives it in long now. Remus has the sit. Did he touch it? Yes, he says he did, but I don't think he did. It's a goal, and that's the last thing the Dogs wanted. Gee, he had the sit, and he misread the flight of the ball. That is 2 goals to Brady Atkinson.
Well, he was deliberate here. He's on his left boot too. He straightens up, punches it towards goal. I don't know whether he really thought he was a chance. His target was Parsons. They ran underneath it. Remus didn't touch that. Good bounce. It was worth the try at the umpire. He told a little white lie. I hope you get away with it, but the umpire was right on the ball. Great goal to Atkinson, his second.
Deary me, 8-6 to 6-5. Terrible feeling to be so close. You've got to try those things. Like Neville mentioned, it's a little white lie, a little porky pie, but every now and again you can con the umpire. Oh, that is good play by David Green. He puts it up to centre half forward. Can they get the quick reply? Going through, Bradley Ryan snatched that one. And he just decides to push Gary Sutton out of the way. As I mentioned, very business-like is Ryan. That is kick number 7. It's punched away by McCarthy, then socked off the ground by Nick Holland, it was. Tried to kick that off the ground. Throw in across the half-forward line. Grandstand side. We're into time on here at Football Park. 54 plays 41. Down to Atkinson. That's holding the ball for mine. Play on the call by the umpire. Atkinson had time to get rid of that. The ball out of play. Kicked by Saywell. So he's having a good battle on his wing with Hamilton. Stephen Hamilton's kicked a goal. They both had a lot of possessions. Saywell's had 15 possessions, Hamilton 11. I would suggest Hamilton's done a little bit more with his as Tongery gets another kick. It goes out towards Lounder. Lounder's handball. He measured that one, but the disposal wasn't good. Made life very difficult for Abbott. Players jump on top and we'll have a bounce across the half-forward line, this time for the Dogs. 26.5 minutes into the second term. 8-6 plays 6-5. A little bit cool here, and that's Murray Tippett. And he's been a tireless worker for the SANFL. Done a great job over the years. Now there's another example, the umpire blowing the whistle, and the ball had worked its way clear.
Just trying to forecast what might happen, and rather than just let it happen. Umpire Elliott. Been pretty good though, the umpires today. Mark Westgarth with him. Tongery on the outskirts. Atkinson getting plenty of touches. Well, that wasn't Atkinson. It might have been Klomp. Atkinson on the periphery here. now Sims. Atkinson will be in the, or Hamilton will be in the picture here. So too Atkinson as he tries to shepherd out Laird in high. They got the jump on Parsons on that occasion, and Ingerson in defence at the moment. Playing in the ruck, and Lowndes having a break at half forward. There's a hospital handball, as it's classically called, but Remus did pretty well. Green gives it off to Chaplin, so the Dogs, they'd love to get a goal here. It would help out before half-time. The kick is a shocker by Chaplin and lands in the waiting arms of Riley. His kick now back towards half-forward. Parsons got the jump on them all this time. Ingerson reads it beautifully, gives it up on this occasion to Abbott. He has a look. Oh, the kick again, poorly put. Tonga interferes with the player, and Nick Holland will get a free kick. So every attempt through half forward being thwarted now by the Roosters. The kick back towards half forward again. Ingerson there, he's held, no free kick. Opportunity for Timmy Noonan. A nippy little effort by the Rover. The kick is not bad either as it goes up towards Geister. He'll need some support. He's got it. Oh, they'll Handley with an opportunity now as they've got a real chance, the Roosters. Burton caught too high. Lynn tries to get out of it, does pretty well. And in the way, David Green playing in the centre. So they were lucky on that occasion, the Dogs. Girdham underneath it if he can hold ground. He does against Atkinson. Chaplin wanted it. He didn't take that option. He wants Lounder. The big fella's underneath it. One finger, one hand only. He goes for it. Stevens comes in to help. Beautifully stolen by the left footer. They open it up now. They'd love a goal before half-time. Chaplin into the open goal, and costly miss. They might reflect on that one at the end of the game. 1 point only.
So at the 29-minute mark, it's been a 24-point turnaround. Central now trail by 12 points. They led by 12 points at quarter time, and not a lot of damage done in their second term considering the breeze. So if the pattern continues, one would expect the Dogs to lead at three-quarter time. Sounds very well in theory, but they'll have to work hard, and they'll need a bigger lead than they had at quarter time if they want to win this game. Sanders is there, gets the handball out. Plenty of players at the fall of the ball. Redden is there as well. Oh, that's a throw. He threw it out to Atkinson. The umpire caught on the blind side. He should have been playing with the 36ers last night. Unbelievable. Out there is Hanley. So too Remus. He'll go over the top to Hanley. In fact, he went low to Hanley. Bottom line, he still got to the player, and there's a good tackle by Turner, and some great second effort performances being performed out there. Let's take a look at that throw one more time. That was a classic. There's the culprit. Reach your heart out, Luke Longy. Here we go. Michael Redden on his hands and knees. Yes, beautifully done. Nicely put, Michael. North Adelaide 8-6-54. They lead at half-time here at Football Park. The Dogs 6-6-42. The action's on Nines Wide Water Sports. Start of the final quarter here at Football Park. North Adelaide 8-6-54. They lead Central 6-6-42. It was the Dogs by 12 points at quarter time. And North Adelaide turned that around by 24 points to go in 12 points up at half-time. Good take by Coffey, though, and a good start. North Adelaide kicked a goal 18 seconds into the first quarter. Maybe the Dogs can repeat that. Beautiful ball in and a good take. Gerke's been up to Coffey most of the day. He's got away on 2 occasions in the first quarter. He's been offline on 3 other occasions. So 2 goals, 3 to the full forward for the Dogs. He'll kick from 40. 6th kick, and he's very close indeed, but just over the top of the post to the left, and 1 point only. So 6-7-43. They trail by 11 points now. North Adelaide 8-6-54. Yeah, Grant Coffey's kicked 2 goals, 4 now. He's looked dangerous, but his conversion rate is not all that flash at the moment. Very important quarter of football for the Dogs. Likewise, North Adelaide, who are still battling for that double chance. They're in second position at the moment, but that could change over the next few weeks. They go forward, nearly a spectacular mark by Hamilton. He's on the ground working hard. So too in there is Turner. Loose ball eventually goes out to Pyman. He's done a good job on Turner today. Tongaree, he's worked hard since an indifferent first term. Puts the ball forward, Coffey from behind, but Gerke forces that one over the line. So 54 points, plays 43. 11 points the difference here at Football Park. 1.5 minutes into the third term. breeze is still favouring the right of screen, the southern end of Football Park, commonly known as the golf course end. Well done, Ingerson. He's worked pretty hard, and that ball was held to him. And there's Mick with that familiar smile on his face, and likewise Ingerson. You've got to beware of that smile, though. I think Mick's fooled a few customers with that one over the years. Well done, down to Barrett. Sanders in turn out to Saunders. He puts it up high and long. Underneath it is McCarthy, but the ball is out of play on that outer side. So we'll have a throw in. At quarter time, it was the Dogs leading by 12 points. At half time, Central by 12 points. And now, 2 minutes into this second term, it's an 11-point advantage to the Roosters.
Lound will do the ruck work this time. But the old fella gets it again. Klomp. Quick hand, Sims. And the runner is Phillips. He's been good off his wing. One of the best for North Adelaide. 12 touches in total. And when he gets the ball, he usually carries it over a line. He's got very quick turn of speed. His disposal is pretty good. Damien McCarthy had a good quarter in the second at centre half forward, replacing Peter Bennett injured. Gets the knock on that occasion. Loose ball, Noonan held back by Saywell. No free kick. Now Chaplin's got it. He's on his left boot. Little chip short is good. And that finds Robert Hanley. Chopper Hanley through the centre of the ground. His kick is good as well to find Trevor Rowe. He chips short to Coffey. Not quite long enough. Opportunity now as Abbott picks it up and gives it to Ingerson. And Ingerson's just offline. Ingerson started at centre half forward, went into the ruck for the last 10 minutes of the second quarter. And every time he's around the footy, something happens. In defence in that second quarter, he was superb.
Gerke with the football. I mentioned at the start of the game, he often gets off to a slow start, Gerke. Gets a few kicked on him early, but then he manages to fight back, and that's happened again. Coffey kicked 2 in the first term, and he's yet to add to that. The ball close to the boundary line. In there is Saywell. So too Hamilton, but the boundary line wins out, and we'll have a throw in on the outer side. North Adelaide in second position, the Dogs in 8th. North of 112 and lost 8. Got off to a pretty slow start this year, but they're hitting their straps at the right end of the season as we approach the final series. Chaplin hands the ball back to umpire David Elliott, who's officiating today with Mark Westgarth. Pushed down by Ingerson. Barrett is there. Paddled forward. Now an opportunity as that was pushed on again to Stevens. He tries to flick it out. Barrett's there again. Picked that up beautifully. Now the handball goes out towards Saunders. He in turn puts out a gem to find Phillips. That one not that good to Hamilton, but it sat up nicely for him. He puts a wobbly kick forward, and the mark's been taken back there by Lynn. Now they want to set something up here. They've got a loose man out there in Rowe. If the ball sits for that player, he punches it forward, has support in Girdham. Girdham tries to paddle it back out to Rowe. It's 2 against 1. Saunders is trying his heart out, but he was outgunned by the numbers there as he puts the ball forward, and eventually it is out of play. But they managed to move it down into the scoring zone, which is the right forward pocket, the southern end of Football Park. Trevor Rowe played a lot of football for the Dogs, 242 games. Only kicked the 74 goals and played a lot of those games as a tagger and a wingman.
54 plays 44. A 10-point advantage to North Adelaide. 5 minutes in, third quarter. North Adelaide dominating in the small man division, and across the centre they've been pretty good with Hamilton, Sanders and Phillips. Opportunity now for Coffey back of pack, but stealing it is Abbott. He pops it away at goal and makes no mistake for his first.
Well, it's taken them nearly 5.5 minutes, but they've managed to bang one on the board, and that's through John Abbott. As Neville mentioned, his first goal. This is how it happened. Tongaree managed to elude Sims. He gets onto the left boot. He kicks it from about 75 metres out, puts it well inside 50 though. 3 against 1. Coffey at the back of the pack. Abbott though was the first to snare the football, and he banged it through with his left boot. And they edge a little closer now, only 4 points the difference.
8-6 plays 7-8. The margin with North Adelaide. And the breeze is going left to right of screen. Worth at least 5 in our opinion. Lounder will come from left. He'll face Michael Redden. It's a poor bounce. It should be recalled and isn't. Lounder takes it easily. Pushes it towards half forward. Stevens underneath it. Oh, he's put down a sitter. Coming through was Barrett. Couldn't believe his luck to see the ball on the ground. over towards centre, or half forward I should say, flank. Oh, good work on that occasion. The Dogs into attack. Have a look at Coffey from behind, couldn't quite take it, and that's the value of front position. He's done a pretty good job, Gerke. He's given up 2 goals on Coffey, and he's been offline 3 other times.
Holland with the ball. Nearly 7 minutes into this third term. Holland puts it up high. Rowe at the back of the pack. Launder is there. Red in front position, and that's a strong mark. Doesn't take quite as many as he used to. He's still a very good player. And that right knee of Mick Redden's doesn't look all that flash. Not that he'd ever tell anyone. Good handball from Phillips out towards Noonan. Burton sets himself. Big fist away at the back of the pack. They're looking for the free kick was Green. So Green has the job on Burton now. They wanted to play on the Dogs, but it'll have to go back to Green. He's deep in defence. They should be kicking long. The target should be Launder. He's going across ground. Not the best option provided by Launder. He should have been the target, but they found Ingerson nevertheless. Playing a good game, Ingerson, doing a lot of work. He's had 14 possessions. McCarthy standing the mark. He's playing centre half forward for the Roosters. The ball goes out to Hanley. Now finds himself in attack. He's not bad at kicking goals, Hanley. Oh, he flicks this one out, and falling over out there was Abbott. Golden opportunity. Tongery has it, though. He lines them up, and he's missed it. Gee whiz, 3 points. In fact, no, he's kicked it. Well, the umpire went bolting away to the right, and Tongery's put that one through, so the Dogs have hit the front.
Well, the thing to watch here is the goal umpire. Abbott went to ground, and players ran into each other, but Tongery's kick, have a look at the umpire, off he goes, on run. Whoa, whoa. So he was looking for some space to indicate it, but it was his 9th kick, and Tongery in the centre now. He had the job on Burton to start with, but good for his first up.
Back in the centre, 8-6 plays 8-9. The Central side lead by 3 points. They want to build on that. They'll be going into the breeze in the last term. I would suggest they'd need a 3 or 4 goal lead. And that's not impossible. There's plenty of time left in this third quarter. Only 9 minutes in. The ball went out towards Hamilton. Now an opportunity there for Saywell. He pushes the ball along in front. Kept it in play. That was clever work. He's got some skill, Saywell. Now good hands by the Dogs, and Green has the football as he punches out a pass, but it goes straight to the waiting arms of Bradley Ryan. They just break down across half forward from time to time with their foot disposal. Now the ball goes from Ryan to Sanders, playing in the middle all day, and he's done a pretty good job. Parsons is there, couldn't take the mark. Reimers was also there, going through his lead. Turner gets a handball out, but it's a free kick to the Dogs. I'm not sure what for, but it'll go the way of Roy Laird, and he's played a great game. Changes play. Tongery will have to go hard. Not a good kick. It goes straight to Sims. Sims around the body, finds McCarthy, who takes the mark quite easily. So Leeds played a good game, but that was a terrible kick, and it could prove quite costly. He'll be kicking from about 45 metres out. Already has 2 goals, kicked them both in the second term. Former Woodville player, taking plenty of time. In fact, he's half looking to pass off. Should get pretty close though. Breeze going from his left to right, and he's kicking into it. He starts it at the middle. The Breeze well and truly gets hold of that. Players set themselves. No one could take it. Parsons picks up the crumbs. That's held to him by Launder, and the umpire will bounce just in that right forward pocket, northern end.
Well, they've done well, the Dogs. They've used the Breeze early, and they must keep going. As Kim said, they'll need 2 or 3 goals, maybe more, to curb a good finishing North Adelaide. They'll certainly want the points at the end of the day, and they'll come home strong. Parsons will do the ruck work against Launder. 22 plays 28. Up he goes over the back. Good tap, plump court. Good tackle by Laird. Oh, and strong work on that occasion by, it was Lynn. Reimers again. It was Gurdon who got it out. Reimers did it well, drew the player. Rowe doesn't panic. Inside to Chaplin. They've got the run. The chip short will find Gurdon, or Stevens it is. He'll go on his left boot. He wants a lead. That comes from Coffey. Oh, Hanley at the back of the pack. He doesn't need him though. It's a great take. 7 marks, 2 goals. And let's have a look at the tape.
It came in. He's caught Gerke out on a number of occasions. He has a height advantage, but he manages to bring Gerke underneath the ball. Then he drops back and extends the arms, and he's done that on a number of occasions.
So Central now with a 9-point lead.
And Coffey has 3 goals now. He's kicked 3-4 for the match. Let's have a look how it happened. Gurdon was back there working very hard. He got the handball out to Reimers. Reimers took 2 bounces. He was looking to draw the player. That's exactly what he achieved. He gave it to Rowe, who did likewise to Chaplin. Now, Chaplin had the newcomer coming to his right. He ignored that option, put it to Stevens. Stevens thought about a handball, drove it with his natural left boot, kicked it about 50 metres, and there's the grab. 2 grabs, 3 grabs, took it. Hanley was there just in case, and Coffey has kicked his 3rd, and the Dogs go further ahead.
Well, they're on budget for a good lead at 3/4 time if they can maintain North Adelaide. They're 8-6, 54. Central 9-9, 63. 18 shots, plays 14, so they've had their share of the ball on the forward line. Sims, Hamilton, forward they go, North Adelaide. Over half forward, underneath it was Pyman. He did well on Turner on that occasion, but coming out with it was David Green. He's gone from the centre back onto Craig Burton. Opportunity now for the Dogs. Coffey again out in space and easily taken. The ball came in from Abbott. He picked off Coffey pretty well. Now he's tucked into that corner. He's got Tongaree on his left, doesn't want him. I think deep down he really wants to have this shot. He's got a breeze going from his left to right. If he sits it out about 4 or 5 metres, it might just drift back. He sit it out quite enough. You could see how much movement there was. In fact, it wasn't a very good kick. The kick he needed was just a nice loose drop punt to the front of the goals, about 5 metres out, and the wind should have just taken it and pushed it through. Nonetheless, he's had plenty of shots at goal. So 6 shots for 3 goals, or 7 shots for 3 goals, I should say. They're still in the forward line with a chance. Chaplin, dispossessed by Riley, does it well. Now Saunders punches it into the breeze. Ingerson underneath it. Burton there. Oh, Ingerson just gets the crumb. Looked beautifully. Loses, almost lost it to Parsons. Gave it up to Reimers though. Over half forward they go. Coffey again. Can he take it? He's got it. Well, he's on top, and Gerke will get a 50 if he's not careful. A warning from Mark Westgarth to both players as he lines him up in the square. Number 2, 9 marks, and his 9th kick, and his 8th shot at goal. So that's not a bad effort from the full forward. Only 20 metres. Easier angle than his last shot. Oh, and I think he's got it home. That's his 4th.
So, could we see another upset? They did it last week against Port Adelaide with a 1-point victory. This is how it happened. The ball came out beautifully trapped by Ingerson. He's playing a fantastic game. A little quiet in the first quarter. He got the handball out to Reimers, who's done a sensational job from centre half forward. In came the ball. Coffey's just too strong for Gerke. He's got a height advantage and a weight advantage, and he took that one by using his body extremely well. Oh, have a look at that. A little bit of the boot came out there. Now Coffey has kicked 4, and Central will be looking to build on this lead. They currently lead by 16 points.
8-6, 10-10. Good work by the Dogs in the first 14 minutes of play here at Footy Park. They've managed to add something like 4 goals. Great effort. Hamilton out of the centre. Turner couldn't take it. The crumb well taken by Green. Tongaree underneath it. Now they're a chance again. Off he goes. Inside, as Gurdon. It's in long. Watch out for Coffey. He's got the drop. Oh, and he nearly had it too. In fact, if he'd got up just a little bit higher, he would have completely outstretched Gerke. And he really is looking dangerous up there. He's a pinpoint for the forward thrust, and they're certainly aiming for him. 54 plays 70. A good break to the Dogs. Forward pocket. Coffey with the knock. Tried to take it. Good work by the Dogs. Noonan. By North Adelaide, I should say. Noonan, Gerke. He's under all sorts of pressure. Stevens and Gurdon close on him. They go backwards now. Rowe will try and set it up. Sanders was close to taking the tackle. Up they go. Big Mick Redden in defence to help out the backline players.
Now he'll be looking to steady the ship somewhat. They wouldn't want this lead to open up much further than this. They will have the breeze in the last quarter, but the Dogs have just lifted the tempo somewhat. Good body work by Parsons, and the mark's been paid. That ball will have to go back. It wasn't a free kick, so Parsons having a run on the ball. He's been playing most of this game at full forward, and he's kicked just the 2 goals. 2-1, in fact. Kick number 4. It's taking plenty of time. Redden in the end has moved down there. It's put in that direction, but Ingerson underneath it, but beautifully plucked by Turner, Peter Turner. It's been well held by Pyman. Turner puts it up towards centre half forward, and Klomp is there and takes the mark. Klomp had a great first term. He's been a little quiet since. They need a goal here. Which way will he go? Phillips has moved down there. McCarthy is now playing at full forward. Oh, that's squeezed out beautifully to find Noonan. Well done by the captain. Timmy Noonan too far out to score, one would suggest. Mind you, his best kick may get there. He will definitely have to take the left goal post. Kick number 7. He's aimed it at that left post. The breeze should bring it back, and it didn't. Oh, quite unbelievable. I thought he placed that one in the correct position. So Noonan with 7 kicks. Puts a point on the board for the Roosters. They move along to 8-7-55, trailing Central 10-10-70.
Saywell underneath it. He completes the standard sort of pass. Number 29. Hasn't been a bad day today. 18 touches. Bad for a kid. Lounder in the centre of the ground. On he goes quickly. David Green now puts it up high. That's no real advantage to anybody. Going back the wrong way was Cummings. He's just come on the ground. And Riley happy to see it over the line. Mike Noonan in the bunker with Jeff Paul on his left. And coached this side to many, many games. 2 premierships, and a good player in his time. Played in quite a few flags himself. Lounder underneath it. Plays on quickly. They're building quickly. They've got players everywhere. Out to the left there was an Abbott. But oh, he's put it through the middle. Remus from half back. What a goal!
Well, he took his time, and there was a North player swooping on him, and I thought he may have taken too long. He managed to get the kick away, and by gee, he kicked it hard and long. Let's have a look at this. Lounder took the mark. He always likes to play on. He was under a bit of pressure himself. He got the handball out. Have a look at the player coming in from the side. That was Hamilton. Perhaps could have done a little bit more. But Reimers just went bang, and he put it through, and Central have another goal on the board. That's their 11th, and we could be in for a big last quarter here at the park.
21 points, 11-10, 8-7 in favour of the Dogs. Lounder gets it down, Sanders out. They feel some urgency, North Adelaide. They wouldn't want this lead to jump any further. Otherwise, they'll need every bit of that last quarter breeze to get it home. Lynn goes to ground with Turner. The loose ball's with Ingerson. Tongri again in space. He seems to own that part of the turf. Sanders, that directly oppose these two now, gets the ball. David Green had the job in the first quarter. First half, 14th kick to Sanders, and he finds Hamilton. Beautifully put. And Stewart would be happy with the scene right now. Would like to maintain it through to three-quarter time. Ingerson puts down what he should have taken. Trying to burst his way through was Miles, just on the ground. Chaplin says to David Elliott, that is holding the ball. Ball's on deaf ears, I'm afraid. Reimers with the knock. Sims, quick one in. Geester and McCarthy holding each other. Geester's got the free kick. Don't know how you picked that one, David Abbott, but nonetheless, a lot closer than us. Elliott, should I say. Short to find Green. Floated into his arms. And underneath it Cummings. Quick and completed. Saunders there. Mops up easily. The handball's good to Burton, and now to Barrett, running over half back, or out of half back. Oh, he's given the run to Mail if he's good enough. Lynn with him. The tackle's not bad on him. Forces the error. Loose ball. Parsons there. And Reimers has been free kicked in the back. And the Dogs will free the ball from the fence.
Well, even though it's 8th against 2nd, this is a game North Adelaide can ill afford to lose. They are still a chance. Well, they desperately need the double chance. And with Glenelg breathing down their neck and the Eagles, as I mentioned, they can ill afford to drop this game. And Central, well, they have their back up at the moment. They've lifted the tempo. They're working very hard. Ryan with the football. He was dispossessed. Here's another opportunity. Chopper Hanley, clever work. Stevens couldn't capitalise. Saunders is there. Tongri went through, tried to kick it off the ground. It's now taken by Stephen Riley, and he went for the safety of the boundary line. And it wouldn't hurt the Roosters just to regroup for a few moments. We're at the 21-minute mark, and it's not impossible or improbable that the Dogs could add another 3 or 4 goals if the Roosters aren't careful. Up high there was Hanley, taken by Phillips. good handball. Now they have time to set something up. Gerke's there. He gives it to Barrett. Barrett normally very good with his disposal. Puts it up to centre half forward. Going across there was Ingerson. Now an opportunity for... Green cop one from Klomp. That was a shocker. And we might have a look at that one later. No need for that. Now as Chaplin puts the ball out towards Tongaree. Green is up, so he appears to be okay. We'll see what his memory's like as that ball goes towards the goal face, but it's just a point. So the Dogs move along to 11-11.
Tongaree offline on that occasion. David Green on his feet now and shakes his head. 8-7, 11-11. 22-point margin. And Phillips off his wing against Rowe. 8th kick and 8 handballs. Not a bad effort. He's used them all pretty well, and that's not bad either from Saywell. He's been a star for the Dogs today. He puts it up for Stevens. He's under pressure from Riley. He won't will always go for the defensive action. Punched it down. Burton now in defence. Barrett, Sanders, through the centre they go. They're falling down at half forward this quarter. McCarthy at full forward at the moment. And Parsons in the ruck. Opportunity for the big fella now too. He has 2. That's his 3rd. What a valuable one for the Roosters.
Well, he did that well, McCarthy. My money was on the central player there. He appeared to use his body well, and that was Geister. He looked like he had the better of McCarthy, but both players overran it. McCarthy first to recover. Have a look at this. Mail puts the kick forward. Now look, great one-on-one battle here. Geister took front position, but couldn't trap the football. McCarthy first to get back on it. Bang, there's his 3rd goal, and that's a very handy one. It keeps North Adelaide in touch at the 23-minute mark.
And McCarthy's off the ground straight after that. Mark Marshall on for North Adelaide. And young Wakeland's on for Central. Gurdon was benched at his expense. Another ball up. Mark Westgarth smiles and says, I'll have another try at that. 77 plays 61. Lounder. But it's Redden who got the jump on him. Ingerson in there as well. And just trying to get some action around the ball with Ingerson. Everywhere he is, something happens for the Dogs. He's a very important player to this side, and they certainly miss him. Alan Stewart in your screen misses him when he's with the Crows. In the bunker. Usually sits up in the glass. Sanders around the corner, beautifully trapped by Pyman. He's got Saywell in space. If it sits for that player, it does. 20 touches for the youngster as he goes to Tongaree, looking a lot better out of the centre of the ground. And with it now is Wakeland. He's just come on the ground. Barrett couldn't trap it. And at least it's in the Dogs forward line. They'd be pleased with that. We're within 40 seconds of time on. So, not a bad lead. 16 points. 3 goals North Adelaide have to kick to get in front. The Dogs would love another one before 3/4 time with this breeze. And I don't think Mike Redden is all that fit with that right knee of his. When he's been unopposed, he's kicked with the left boot from a mark. You can see it strapped, the right knee, and when he doesn't have to use it, he chooses not to. Wakeland opposed him. Burton beautifully trapped. Riley back to Burton, provides the run. Now Ryan hands it off to Sanders, says, away you go, son, I'll look after your back. The kick in is good, and Mail. So Noonan making some changes. Atkinson went off for Mail, but in defence, that man again, Ingerson, close to the best for the Dogs as well. Turns on the left boot. It's his natural leg. It's dangerous. There is Sims, and he manages to spoil. So they lose possession. He might have been better served to have gone straight down the ground.
We're into time on in this 3rd term. North Adelaide 9-7, Central 11-11. Big Mike Parsons about to do the ruck work. The very handy goal that was kicked by McCarthy prior to him leaving the ground. Now let's see if they can get one back. That ball was held to Rimus. And the crowd wanted holding the ball. The umpire said it was held to him. And we'll have a bounce. Parsons opposed to Lounder. Still time for both sides to score. Only at the 26-minute mark, the ball is pushed out towards Noonan. He's very fleet of foot. So too Saywell applying the pressure, and that is good work by Ingerson. And there's no question his work rate is far superior to what we've seen in previous years. And that must be attributed to the more intense training he's done with the Crows. And He's obviously learned a bit with his games in the AFL. Noonan working hard, gets the ball out towards Burton. Burton in turn puts it up high, pulls up into the breeze. Turner from behind punches away from Pyman. Loose ball down towards Phillips. Phillips sidesteps nicely, punches out a pass, and that is good defensive play there by Geester. Mail is down there, so too Sims, gets a kick away, just Turner's there, good tackle led, back towards Sims. Sims, good vision, threw it out towards Phillips. He lines up the goals and couldn't convert. Great presence of mind by Stephen Sims with that very short pass. He caught Phillips out the corner of his eye, but Phillips couldn't convert, and that man can't believe it.
Experience on Sims's behalf. Just used the ball beautifully. Didn't panic. 11-11, 9-8. 15 points as Lynn will bring the ball straight down the ground. He's after Ingerson. He's put him under pressure. The kick is good. Ingerson puts it down and keeps going. Have a look at that. He ran away from Burton on that occasion. Puts it in high. That's not a bad play by the Dogs. And umpire Elliott says holding on. Free kick North Adelaide. And that's taking a lot of pressure off the Dogs.
Yes, a lot of pressure off the Roosters, I would say, as the ball now goes out towards Saunders. He in turn finds Gerke. So Gerke's been moved off Coffey. And Nick Holland's back on that player. As the ball is put up high, close to the boundary line. Turner is there, looking for the free kick. Very close to the boundary line. He gets a free kick for a push in the back. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sports for this exclusive coverage of the match between North Adelaide and the Bulldogs, and it's a pretty good game at that. Have a look at it. The Dogs leading 11-11, 77. North Adelaide trailing 9-8, 62 as they go forward through Mail, but they are inaccurate. I can tell you that North Adelaide's still pretty well placed because they'll be kicking with the breeze in the final term. The Dogs have it at the moment. We're at the 29-minute mark, and joining me in commentary is Neville Roberts.
Thank you, Kim. And the Dogs, they led at 12 points at the first change. They kicked with the breeze. North Adelaide turned that around at half-time by 24 points. And, but the Dogs have done pretty well again. They've opened up a margin of 14 points in this third term. And North Adelaide have had to use all their guile, cunning and experience to stay with the young Dog side. Ingerson's really changed things going onto the ball or playing it half forward. Every time he's around the pitches, something happens. He's been an absolute star. Young Saywell for the Dogs has been very, very good. Coffey at full forward has kicked 4. And North Adelaide, the main goal scorers, Damien McCarthy's kicked 3. Brody Atkinson and Michael Parsons 2 each. Sanders playing out the centre of the ground, hasn't been bad. Burton's been quiet, but he's had some pretty good defenders. David Green's been on him, Tongaree for a while, and Roy Laird. Chance for Parsons. He started at full forward, now having a run on the ball. Plump, tough as ever. Timmy Noonan, and the siren goes to end the third quarter here at Footy Park. North Adelaide 9-9, 63, a 14-point deficit. Central 11-11, 77. So the Giant Killers
14-point advantage to the Dogs. They'll be kicking into the breeze. David Elliott's about to bounce the ball, and to pick up the call is Neville Roberts.
11-11 to 9-9, 14 points, and can the Dogs hang on? They go into a pretty stiff breeze. North Adelaide desperate to win this one. They're in second spot on percentage only, with the Eagles right up their tail. They want it badly, so they'll put the pressure on as they step up the gas in the final quarter. Gerke now. Sims, he won't waste the ball. His target towards full forward. Up they go from behind. Opportunity now for Marshall. He came off the bench. You won't see better than that. What a great left foot snap.
Well, they did it in the second term when they had the breeze. I think it took them 18 seconds to get a goal in the second term. It took about 25 in this final term, but have a look at it. They've done it again. They're back in the hunt. There's 8 points the difference. Sims drove it in long. Marshall's been on the bench nearly all the day. He's gone to full forward in the time-on period of that third term, and straight away in the opening seconds of this final term, he banged one through with his left boot. 8 points the difference, and we're not even a minute into this final term.
So Michael Noonan's rearranged that forward line now with Marshall at full forward. He started there with Parsons and McCarthy at centre-half forward. Parsons is at half forward now. We're only a minute in. Lounder loses the knock to Redden. Tonga out of the centre. That's where he's playing on at the moment against Sanders, and he's got his work cut out there. Barrett finds Gerke. Stevens to close on him. Been a good player for the Dogs. Hanley there. Through comes Abbott. He's also picked up plenty of touches. Opportunity there for Wakeland. He came on in the third quarter. The youngster Sanders, sorry, that was Stevens, too high. Good call. And the left footer will put the Dogs deeper into attack. That's 2 goals. This will be his 8th kick. Does a lot of hard work. Crosses over a line with the ball. Carries it, in fact. Likes to use it. Not his best kick, but a luck's a fortune. Abbott, is it? Hanley, I should say. Chopper Hanley. Read it beautifully. Diving catch.
Let's take a look at it. It's one of those floating kicks. It's a nightmare for the players underneath him, but Hanley came in from the side, took that beautifully, started in the back pocket, now up forward.
Lines them up. Oh, and that's a great early goal to the Dogs.
Well, we're all aware of just how difficult it is to kick goals into the breeze, and to kick one in the first 2 minutes of the final term, that could prove crucial. Kick number 4 for Hanley. Hasn't had a lot of the football, as I mentioned. He started in defence, but gee, took his time with that one and he banged it through, and they'll need a couple more of those if they're to win this game. They'll have to kick at least 3 into the breeze, I would imagine.
And the Dogs taking up the challenge to North Adelaide. North Adelaide kicked an early goal through Marshall at full forward. And they responded very quickly. Within about a minute and a half, a great goal to Chopper Hanley. Umpires today are David Elliott and Mark Marshall. The latter doing the job just there. Sims now. He's always dangerous, likes to use the footy. Left boot, Burton's the target. Plenty of players there. Clomp from behind, nearly took it. Out comes Marshall. He's caught with the ball, and umpire Westgarth will bounce it. So Michael Noonan in the bench and will be feeling the pressure. He doesn't need to drop a game 2 rounds out of the finals to an 8th place side. It wouldn't do confidence any good at all, but give the Dogs credit. As we've mentioned, they did do Port Adelaide over pretty well at Elizabeth last week. And a lot of big sides get done over out there. 28 and 22. Parsons against Lounder. To the left of both of those players, out of screen in fact. Wakeland goes to ground. Boot to ball along that boundary, eastern boundary line. Saunders, been a good player for North Adelaide. He always is in defence. In fact, they've got a pretty tough defence, North Adelaide. Barrett, Saunders, Riley and Ryan. We'll have a look at some progress scores, Kim.
Norwood 7-9, trailing the Eagles 14-10, so that'll be a most comprehensive victory. Sturt 7-11, West Adelaide powering away 17-13 as North Adelaide go into attack again through Noonan. He puts it up inside 50, players set themselves, but this man's been something of a mild sensation this afternoon, Huey Romers. 17 possessions from centre-half back, and that's not his best one. He's kicked the goal as well, but he's put that right in the waiting hands of Hamilton. Hamilton's going short, he chips it up, that's not a good kick. Underneath it, Ingerson, 2 grabs, Reimers took it, he bails out with a handball out wide to Lynn. Lynn close to the boundary line, he gets the kick away, Green is there, and he's happy to take that over the line. Just looking at the remaining matches, Neville, we're aware that North Adelaide are in second position, on percentage above the Eagles, with Glenelg 1 game behind. Well, next week, the Eagles will win today, so that will put them a game clear as the Roosters go forward, but the mark's been taken by Reimers. So the Eagles will go a game clear if North Adelaide, Geister I should say, if North Adelaide lose this game. Then next week the Eagles play North Adelaide, and the crunch could be when Glenelg plays Sturt in the last game of the round, and next week they play Central. So it's quite possible if the Roosters lose today, they will miss out on the double chance. So this is a vital game and a vital kick.
14th kick for Hamilton, off 50. Very skillful player. It'll go close, just to the left and off line. So at the 5-minute mark, North Adelaide move along to 10-10. They're 70. They trail the Dogs 12-11, 83. A margin of 13 points. Conditions are good, they're dry, a breeze left to right of screen, worth 4 or 5 goals. North Adelaide have the use of it. Ingerson He's the man they're counting on. He's around the ball all the time. Reimers to ground. Opportunity now as Laird lets the ball out of a pack. Umpire Westgar's picked up a free kick, and it'll go to number 2, Stephen Sims. Held without the ball. Correct decision. His 14th kick. He's done a lot of work. Good in traffic. Always get 2 possessions when Simsy's got the ball. He likes to use the ball. He's confident of kicking it. It's not a bad shot. And that just puts a bit more pressure on them. They really needed that one. And that hit the woodwork. So margin now back to just 12 points.
Plenty of time. We're only 6.5 minutes into this final term. 10-11 plays 12-11. The ball is put out wide. Interesting to see Tongaree brought the ball back into play. Joshy Mail with the ball. And he's put that one out of bounds on the full. Now the important thing for Alan Stewart, there he is, for his side to do now is to keep attacking, because they certainly can't protect the 12-point lead. Not the way this breeze is blowing. Amazing turnaround by the Dogs. They really haven't got a lot to achieve in terms of playing in the finals, etc. Obviously there's pride at stake. That was kick number 10 from Lynn, but it went straight to Redden. He'd be very aware of the importance in this situation. Kick with his left foot again. As you can see, his Cummins too slow. Hasn't played a lot of football. In fact, it's only his 3rd game, and this one's a bottler. You've got to get rid of it a bit quicker than that. It goes back towards Phillips. Phillips drives it in. It's a floating kick. It's all central, and Ingerson, what a game he's played. Mark number 10, started at centre-half forward, has been an absolute star since being moved onto the ball, and he's playing loose in defence now, whilst the Roosters have this breeze. Mail is out there and wins a free kick. So the free kick's going with North Adelaide in this final term. Plays on. Lounder will have to commit himself. Managed to get a hand to it. Ingerson, the star again, punches it forward. Tongaree's there. Sanders did well to get boot to ball, and he's kicked it straight back towards Pyman, who he leaves short for the Dogs.
It might just be about how many mistakes the Dogs don't make from here, because North Adelaide, with their experience, they'll be trying to set things up professionally. And the Dogs have just got to hang on, try and use the ball, as Kim said, and a great take by Parsons. He'll feature in this last quarter, you can bet on that. I like to use him. The kick in was from Sims. Redden there provides the shepherd. Very clever to get between him and Reimers.
They're doing all the attacking, and Noonan's about to make another move. He's taking Mark Marshall off the ground. He's played virtually no football in this game, and he's going to put McCarthy back up forward.
So he's counting on his big fellas to take a grab. 6 kick from about 40 metres. He has 2 already. And here comes the big fella. And offline again. So they've had plenty of the play, Kim. Hit the post, offline, and 1 goal early. We're only 9 minutes in. Anything can happen. But I really do think it'll depend just how Central can handle the pressure and how many mistakes they make from here.
Yeah, fair assessment. The Roosters have kicked 1-3. This time it's Lynn with the football. Thought about going short, drives it out, looks for Lounder. He takes front position. Parsons nearly claimed the mark though. Loose ball to Turner. He's trying to get the handball away to Noonan. Did so effectively. Now it goes back towards Sims. Sims on the left boot. He's been a good player in the early stages of this last term. Taken by Hamilton. There's the goal they were after. That's a beauty.
Well, that's his 2nd goal, Stephen Hamilton. Opportunist. And almost got to be a bit of a scavenger to play half forward and around that pocket area. He just kept his eye on the ball, let the big fellas up in the air, stayed down as Crummers should, and made absolute mincemeat of a snap for goal. He's very clever. He knows where the goals are. It's a handy one, his 2nd, and North Adelaide's 11th.
Back centre field, Central 12-11, lead North Adelaide 11-12, and the football is with Gerke. We've had just over 10 minutes of this final term, and it's a 5-point advantage to the Dogs. Tony Lynn kicks it off the ground, and he'll get the safety of the boundary line. And it was interesting in the 2nd term, after the first quarter had finished, Central led by 12 points. It took North Adelaide 13 minutes to hit the front in the 2nd term with the breeze, but they could only increase it to 12 points. Now we're at the 10-minute mark, and Central lead by 5 points. So the job's pretty monumental to stay in front from here. They'll have to keep scoring. Free kick will go the way of Saywell. Son of Sally Saywell, and he's played pretty well. He's got a bit of skill. It's a wobbly old kick though. Ingerson is there. Oh, beautifully done there by Cummings. Back to Ingerson. The versatile left-footer charges forward. It's not a good kick. Underneath it there is Riley. He gets the handball to Gerke, likewise to Holland. The Roosters attempting to run the ball out, but it goes straight to Green. And the Dogs have the numbers. David Green, one bounce. He's not sure which way to go. This time he puts it up. He needs Coffey. It's 3 against 1, and the mark's taken by Holland.
And it really was Anthony Ingerson who put the pressure on North Adelaide and forced that error so that Green could get the ball down ground. And there were a lot of players closer than Ingerson to get to the running North Adelaide player. Super effort from the big man. Out of bounds, and that's on the full. A turnover to the Dogs. They'll take the ball centre wing. It's like Abbott, in fact, number 53, puts it up high. Ball to ground. Chaplin, great crumb. On his left boot, pops it around the corner, doesn't get any space, only to Sims. Has a look. And as the pressure's built, Sims has got become a better and better player for North Adelaide. On the ground was Lynn, gave the ball wide to Pyman, follows up for support, and good defensive work by the Dogs on that occasion. They were under a lot of pressure. David Elliott with Mark Westgarth, the umpires today. Pretty good job.
And you're right about Sims, Neville. He's become a real factor in this final term. He's had 5 kicks and 2 handballs in this final term alone as the ball goes out towards Burton. I think it came from Sanderson. It's gone back to that player in the old 1-2. He's on the left boot. He drives it towards goal. It's not bad kick. It's gone across the front. McCarthy working very hard. He gets the handball back out to Hamilton. He took his eyes off the football. Going through there is Geister. Oh, and a free kick. Will go the way of Mail. Well, I'd like to have a look at that one.
Yes, I'd agree with that. I wasn't confident it was a free kick, but you can see the arm did go over the top of Mail's shoulder, and technical as it is, it was certainly there. Mistakes, as I said earlier, might just be the difference between these two sides.
Yeah, Mail not a big man, and he was down on his knees. So a bit of bad luck. Kick number 6. He lines them up. He looked pretty confident. And he's kicked a point. That's his second point. So they've missed some easy opportunities today.
Started on the bench, Josh Mail, and found his way back into this side through form. And in progress scores, Norwood Oval, Norwood 8-10, 58. Trail the Eagles 16-12, 108. Big margin there. Sturt 7-12, 54. Trail West 20-15, 135. That'll keep the King happy. And here at Footy Park, of course, 83 plays 79. 4-point margin in favour of the Dogs.
One gets the feeling Barmy would enjoy going back to the parade this afternoon. The ball out towards Parsons, thought about the handball, held onto it. He's got very good skills for a big man. He drives his side forward. The kick wasn't all that flash. McCarthy is there, cleverly kept in play. That was Geister. He got it out towards Lynn. They've got to try and score, the Dogs. They've got to kick a couple of goals if they're to win this. And North Adelaide won't make it easy. They're running the ball into the breeze. That's what they have to do, but they've been breaking down here. Chaplin over the football. Pressure applied by Riley. Now Saunders goes through. He was held. The umpire saw it. So free kicks well and truly going the way of the Roosters, but they're making the pace in this final term. Saunders puts it up to centre half forward. Underneath it was Saywell. Back of the pack is Lynn. He kicks it off the ground again. Opportunity there for Green, I think it could have been. Lynn gets it out again to Saywell. Now he's got to keep possession. He waits for Stevens. He puts it in that direction. Will the ball sit? It should. It does. Now it's a one-on-one battle in the square. Coffey on the lead, and he's taken it. Oh, good play. That was heady football. But this lad, he has kicked 4-4, so it's anyone's guess which way it'll go.
He struggled in front of goals, but the work from Saywell and company down the ground, pretty accurate, and Stevens didn't make any mistake with his chip to Coffey.
It's a very good kick. Kick number 10 for Grant Coffey, and that looks pretty good. I think he's squeezed it through.
Well, it's his 5th from defence. They were pretty good. Lynn set it up. Saywell was the player in space. Didn't panic. Had a look and a bounce. And he's been good off his wing. Good contest between him and Hamilton. Now Stevens always uses the ball. Crosses the line, as I said a little bit earlier. Runs with the ball. Coffey took it nicely. He's been a little offline today. Better that occasion. His 5th goal. Very good.
North Adelaide trailed by 10 points at the nearly 16-minute mark, and the Dogs are going forward. Tongaree very slick, out to Chopper Hanley. He in turn puts it to Coffey. Coffey's kicked 5-4 for the match. Back there with good support is Bradley Ryan. He gets the kick away. Chance for the Roosters. Phillips normally uses the football well. He kicked it out towards the runner, I thought. Tongaree's there. He's dispossessed. Well, that'll be costly. He was tripped. Hamilton with the ball. There's the tackle. Well run down Saywell. Free kick. And it's got to go back. That wasn't late. Well, the umpire didn't see it that way. He's paid it down the ground. And chance for Pyman. They should force the point. They won't. Laird goes long with the handball. The crowd won't deliver it. And the umpire calls throw it in.
Safety first decision from umpire Westgarth. Roy Laird in the screen. 13 touches to Laird. Solid defence from him today. And they've been under plenty of pressure, the Dogs. Ingerson will take the ruck. Parsons gets it, though. The second effort by Ingerson. There's been plenty of them from the big fella today. Hamilton, all class, as he steers one back in towards full forward. Up they go. McCarthy from behind. There's a crumb. Caught with it. Geester there. Burton with the tackle, and it's holding the ball. That's against Green, I think. And Burton's been controlled pretty well today. Tongaree started on him. And then there was a move. Laird, and then Green, who's still there. He's only kicked one goal, I think, Burton.
Burton's kicked 1-1, and the Dogs looked like they were going to clear. Green took the ball. He went to execute the hand pass. Took too long. Correct decision.
Seventh kick, and he's butchered that one to the delight of the Dog fans. So the margin's still 10 points in favour of the Dogs as they hang on desperately. We've played 17.5 minutes of this final quarter here at Football Park. And at Norwood Oval, the Eagles have upset the Redlegs at home, 17-13, 1-1-5, 8-10-58. As Kim said, Neil Barn pretty happy to go back to the parade today. Tim Noonan on to Burton. Can he redeem himself with this one? Different side, same result. So the Dogs keeping the pressure on, and the runners getting the ball into North Adelaide forwards, but their defence standing up under a lot of pressure, making the right decisions, and when they get an opportunity to move the ball out, they seem to run it out pretty well, Kim.
Yes, that's true, and gee, 2 games like this in a row would certainly will test the strength of a few of the hearts of Central supporters. They're in for another cliffhanger. I'm not sure which side you'd rather be at the moment. North Adelaide trailing by 10 points at the 18.5 minute mark, kicking with the breeze, or Central with the score on the board, leading by 10 points. It's up for grabs, there's no question of that, and Central aren't about to lie down. They're playing for dear life out there at the moment, as Redden was at the bottom of the pack, and Elliott blew the whistle again. We've seen this a few occasions today. The umpires just haven't allowed the players to work the ball free on numerous occasions. Ingerson throws everything at the football. Likewise Hanley. Out there off the ground, look like Cummins. Now the ball is loose. It goes to Saunders. Riley pirouettes out of trouble. Gives it to Barrett. He was dispossessed. Tongaree in there. Noonan likewise. Barrett back over it. Now taken by Phillips. Desperation by Tongaree, but the ball was squeezed out to find Sanders. He lifts the eyes, looks for Turner, couldn't find that player. Plump's been very quiet since quarter time. He had a sensational first term. Lynn clears for the Dogs, and they have some relief out there through Rowe. Rowe takes his time. He needs to find a teammate, and he couldn't do that. He found Barrett by mistake.
Well, that's important as they bring the ball up the ground. They must hit the player, but there's a lot of pressure out there, and the Dogs can sense a win. There's a lot of desperation. They're getting numbers to the ball, and they've got some adrenaline in their veins now. They'll keep working and working very hard, as I said earlier. Let's hope they can take it right up to North Adelaide. North also have played some pretty good footy today, and they'll have to use all their guile and cunning to get out of this mess.
And you mentioned it before, Neville, whilst most people expected North Adelaide to win this game, they have been hit by injury. They've lost Peter Bennett with a dislocated finger, Krieg with a hamstring, Mancini with a crook ankle, and Task has gone to the Crows. So they've had to do some rearranging, and they're pretty key players they've lost.
Indeed they have. McCarthy's come back into the side. He's at full forward at the moment, and he'll be in your picture just in a second. Here he comes. Beautifully spoiled by Geester, though. Gets possession back. Turner with him. The big men work it out. Mail, he came off the bench as well. Parsons, Reimers, who's been superb at centre-half back. They go to ground. Pyman there as well. Desperation everywhere. And a great effort by all players in that picture. Mark Westgarth will throw the ball up as nervous supporters look on.
and rightly so. And the Roosters not just playing against the Dogs now, they're playing against the clock. We're at the 21-minute mark.
Well, they've been able to outscore North Adelaide for most of the day. There's no reason they can't do it for the last 5 minutes, and that's really the method. Ooh, free kick against McCarthy, so that's an important one. As Kim said, the clock ticking away, 21 minutes gone, 4 to time on, and probably about only 3 or 4 of off time on. Saywell to Tongaree is good, and off he goes. He's got some leg power too, Tongaree, as he tears away. He's kicked 1 goal. The kick is well spoiled. Poor kick. Saunders was spoiled by Cummings. Good effort by the youngster to go backwards into the play.
Yeah, that was crucial. He had to commit himself then. He couldn't allow Saunders to take the mark, and Cummins, only playing in his 3rd league game, did well. Committed the body and was prepared to suffer the consequences, and fortunately no injury. Free kick though will go the way of the Roosters. We'll go to Stephen Sims, and Chaplin just tackling a little bit high. Sims drops in a short pass looking for Retton over the head of that player. Green is back there, tapped it out to Hanley. They seem to enjoy these close encounters, the Dogs. They lift a cog or two. Riley puts out the pass, and Saywell's there, didn't take it. Opportunity for North. They had 3 players there. It's taken by Phillips. He kicked around his body, and the mark's been taken by Peter Turner. Well, Turner's looked threatening, but he's been cut out of the game. Have a look at this.
6 mark from Turner, and they've got some big men in that forward area at the moment. Noonan counting on them to save this game.
Kick number 10, he hasn't scored thus far. He puts it up very high, he puts it very straight, he's kicked the goal.
Well, that's his first goal, and desperately needed. Short, Saywell should have wrapped that up. He really did have the drop on Saunders. Phillips around the corner intelligently, put it up high, but plenty of Dogs there, but none of them managed to get a hand to it. Turner, cool under pressure, went back, steered it through for his first goal. The margin now only 4 points.
Crunch time at Football Park. The Dogs lead by 4 points, and we're at the 23-minute mark of the final term. The ball goes out to Phillips. He was the player who set up the last goal. The Turner kick taken by Sims. He's been a champion in the final term. He drives it in long. Laird was back there. I tell you what, Lynn's had some pretty useful moments in this final term. He puts it out towards Saywell. So the son of Sally, he's off. He takes a bounce. He drops out the pass. Cummins underneath it. Should have held it. Couldn't take it. Ryan ducked his head. Play on's the call, and rightly so. Gerke to Sims. Back to Gerke. Gerke should drive it long. That's exactly what he does. Lurking is McCarthy. Couldn't take it. Race for pace. First man back there is Lynn again. Can he pick it up? He can't. Should sit this time. Burton in pursuit. And some tired players out there, and Lynn should have picked it up. That man can't believe it. Hold on to your hat at Football Park.
Well, and Lynn himself too. I think he put more pressure on himself than the North Adelaide players were able to put on him, but that's what these tough games are all about. Let's see this time. No problems with his 17th kick. He belts it up towards half-back. Underneath it, Barrett. Sanders there as well. Out of the centre, great tackle. They merge on Sanders. He gets rid of it though. Barrett up from half-back. He won't make a mistake. Just chips it around the corner in high, but Reimers reads it beautifully to get into a diving mark. So the Dogs by 4 at Footy Park in a magnificent game of football. Just wonder how they turn the season around. Port last week, North Adelaide maybe this week. Now Redden, left foot again, yet to kick with his right foot for the last half. The chip is good and it finds Hamilton. Stephen Hamilton, number 25. He has 1 goal in the first and 1 in the fourth. 2 in total. From 50 metres, he puts it up into the square. Passes from behind. Turner! Well, across the front of the pack. His 7th mark. A superb effort.
Well, I mentioned only moments ago he's looked threatening all day, and he's just kicked a goal, and he's just pulled down an absolute screamer, and North Adelaide can take the lead here at the 25-minute mark. We're into time on.
11th kick from 10 metres. His 2nd goal, and North Adelaide hit the lead here at Football Park.
Let's take a look at it once more. It was Hamilton that set up the play after receiving a pass from Michael Redden. Have a look at this, a host of players. Turner drifted in at the front of the pack, majestic leap, got off the ground, took it to the ground and kicked the goal. 2-point lead to the Dogs, and gee, they've got to get it out of the centre now. The centre square becomes paramount, and it's on behind play.
13-13, 13-11, 2 points. North Adelaide grabbed the lead. We're at the time on here at Footy Park. The test now really with the Dogs. Are they good enough? Sanders turns it around left boot. First two it'll be Mail. The bounce goes against him. It goes against everybody. Turner again into the open goal. Over the top to McCarthy. You're a star, Turner. McCarthy's fourth. North Adelaide will wrap it up here at Football Park.
Oh, how quickly it can turn around, and they'd be feeling devastated, the Dogs. You've got to get the ball out of the centre square. Now, Ingerson won the tap, just couldn't get a hand to it there was Hanley. It was Sanders that put the ball forward. It eluded all players. Have a look at this. Lynn just couldn't quite get there. Pyman couldn't take it. Turner could, and he could have kicked it, but he gave it to McCarthy. He kicked his fourth. All of a sudden, it's the Roosters by 8 points, and that man would be feeling devastated.
14-13, 97, Central 13-11, 89, and only seconds ago they led by 4 points. Tongri out of the centre. There's still time to do it if they're good enough. Cummings wide. He finds Sutton. He puts it in long. They need a big grab here underneath it. Oh, Coffey off the boot. He's kicked it. What an unbelievable goal. He's 6th goal at Football Park. Anything can happen.
Well, if you thought the Olyroos were good, have a look at this one. Grant Coffey. He was out position in the air, and that hasn't happened too many times today. It was Sutton that brought the ball in. Have a look at this. They're both holding on to each other. It was Nick Holland. Bang! Mid-air. Through it goes. Edson Pele, eat your heart out. There is 2 points the difference.
Grant Coffey one end, Turner at the other. Final score, West Adelaide 20 goals, 16, 1-3-6 of Belted Sturt, 9-12, 66. And here, of course, 14-13, 97, 14-11, 95, 2 points. The Dogs, they need a goal if they're going to win this game. Remus goes wide. Off goes Rowe. They've got some run in their legs still. The crowd have come alive at Footy Park. Stevens, he's taken the wrong decision. He's caught. Good tackle to Brown. Redden, he won't waste the ball. Now Parsons quilts it in long. That's a good option to get it over half forward. Lynn first to the ball, and my blood pressure's hiking.
Oh, and rightly so it should be. What about that man? He barracks for the Dogs. We're meant to be neutral. Look, I don't want to be hard on the lad. Classic example there, though, where Scott Stevens cannot kick with his right boot. He was caught on it then, and that's why they lost possession. We've had just over 28 minutes of this final term. Sirens should sound any moment. There's been a few points scored today, but there wouldn't be much time remaining, and one gets the feeling when the Dogs went forward and that man number 15 didn't use his right boot, they may have lost their chances then. Only 2 points the difference.
So Parsons will do the ruck work. Ingerson will jump against him. Ingerson's been fantastic today. Absolutely superb. Fit, strong athlete that he is. Parsons done a good job in ruck. Mick Redden, of course, as usual, always does a good job. Ball forward, out on the full, I would think. And the Dogs will get possession, 28-48. So there couldn't be much time left in this game at all. Lynn's got it. Maybe this time. The Dogs, they go forward and they've butchered the ball again. Opportunity for Hamilton. He's pretty skillful in the square, though. It's all Central. Turner gets back. They lose it there through Green. Opportunity for Burton. He chips around the corner, and the margin now 3 points.
Well, nothing changes. The Dogs still require a goal. I just think they're running out of time now. We've had 29 minutes and 20 seconds of this final term. North would not have to touch the ball. It would have to go all the way down the ground without North touching it, and that's not going to happen because they've touched it. There goes the siren. And North Adelaide, well, you take your hat off to them. They've received a lot of injuries and made a lot of changes prior to this game, but you must also compliment the courage shown by Central District. A marvellous game of football, and just sad that so few people witnessed it here at Football Park. Tremendous game. North Adelaide victorious, 14 goals, 14-98. Central truly valiant in defeat, 14-11, 95, and a number of very good players, Neville.
Well,